Uh, I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at this. It's okay. It's okay, I guess. It's okay, I guess. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. I'll be better, I promise. No, bite back. I do. It's due. It's true. I would definitely bite back. Val says, I guess I'll have to apologize to my wife. She will randomly despite me. Will say she just felt like biting me, and I always called her weird for it. It's not weird. It's totally normal. And I mean, like, if they bite you, it means they just find you really, really cute or adorable or attractive, and they're trying to consume that to bring it into their own bodies, right? That's why we do that, right? That's why we just want to bite the homies, and we want to bite like people that we're attracted to, is because we want to bring in their cuteness, their sexiness, their attractiveness into us in an oral way. Hi to you, welcome in. How are you tonight? I'm good. What about you? How's your night? Nom is love. It's true. It is. If you can't nom the homies. Or your wife, right? Bestie, want to rage bait? Exactly. You do know me well. I do. I see you for who you are, Tara. Have a good lurk, Kaiser. Should have been more clear, dog. I said bite. Who the fuck thinks bite means go for the bait? Well, I mean, I guess that could, they're rage baiting you, bite, which means go for the rage bait. Like a fish, they go for the bait. I'd rather be bitten than bite anyone myself. Really? Oh, I like to be bitten as much as I like to bite other people too. I had this, like, so we used to have this cat. They were an alley cat. They were like a dark gray color, and then their hands and their feet were white, so I called them Slippers. That was my cat's name. And she would, like, 1 minute she'd be on my lap, being nice and cozy and comfortable, and the next she'd be like attacking my hands because she wants to play. And I would pick, like, I'd like pick her up and she'd be like struggling against me, whatever, against my hands. And then I'd like put her down on the floor and she'd still be like attacking my hands. So then I would lift her up again and I would bite her. And the first time I did that, she just went, and then she went back to attacking my hands. And that was just how we played. She'd bite me and I'd bite her back. It was really funny. It was really funny. You said I didn't get a drink. You have to wait 6 seconds in between. Inky, hi baby. Nom nom nom. Exactly. Exactly. How are you, Inky? But yeah, she had fun. I mean, she bit me, so I bit her back. It was only fair, right? It's like the universe is trying to tell me something. What did you get? What did you get to drink, Ryuk? You got water. Yeah, you hydrate yourself. Go moisten those bones. Get nice and wet. It's like a universe. Exactly. I would take biting either way. Exactly. Is a little shark sipper my drink? Yes. So first, second, third is the shark. Second is the mango. And the Sakura cup is third. So it goes right to left for first, second, third. The closest cup to me is first place. So you potentially have the opportunity for me to accidentally drink your cup instead of mine. Hi, Yuki. How does one bite Mukia? I want to as well. I have a redeem called Kiss Me. There's forehead kiss, which is I kiss you. And then there's another one called Kiss Mukia, where you guys kiss me, and it shows up randomly. I have ones on my ears, on my neck, on my shoulders, on my forehead, on my cheeks. Hi, Toph! Welcome in! How are you, handsome? How's your night? Thank you for the hair change, Vexing. Hi, Yuki! Did Yuki get her walk-on shout-out? Doesn't look like it did. Okay, I'll go ahead and do it. Hi, Yuki! How are you, lovely? Hi Yura, how are you? I'm doing alright. I started a new BG3 save. I've been seeing a lot of people play some Baldur's Gate lately. I was hanging out with Veiled and their stream earlier, and she was doing some Baldur's Gate 3 with some friends, and I was like, oh, I have yet to actually do a full playthrough of this. Hi to you. Hi, hoy. I'll see you. I see you for you. You see me for me. To be fair, I also have a bit of sustenance, though that seems to be just making people enjoy it more. I mean, it does feel nice when people like bite and then kind of like sippy slurp. You know, hi Val, how are you? How's your night? Chat seems very full tonight. It's nice to see. Yes, everybody, we're talking about biting, so everybody is here and hanging out and talking about biting with me. Toph, are you a biter? Toph, are you a biter? Are you a biter, Toph? Val should have been more clear to use teeth and bite the bait to throw hands afterwards. Oh, how am I like 5 minutes behind? Oh, are you? Are you that far behind? Let me double check the latency. Hold on. Ah, it's on low latency. It could be because I actually started. Oh, you know what? I see why. It's because I didn't have my auto start and stop on, Toph. So technically I'm late to start for you because I didn't hit the like go live now button. That was my bad, Toph. I think if you pause the stream and then restart it, it should catch up. I think. I could be wrong. Val should have been more clear to me. Like when everyone else having a good time. Right, me too. Nom nom nom. We have a nom 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 emote. We have one of me, or technically not me. We have one of our mascot, 𝙼𝙈𝙍, biting you guys. He just bites your cheek. It goes, arm, arm, arm. It's great. Nah, simple brain, smooth brain, bite equals little bite. Exactly. Let's see, what did you get this time, Michael? You got a latte. Oh, I have a coffee right now. Oh, which reminds me, Tara, remember those little coffee bean sugar cubes that you sent me from Throne? They came in today. I have them. I'm drinking them in my coffee right now. You're gonna go eepy? Have a good night, Inky. I love you. Rest well, Inky. Moo is cute. Shut your lying mouth. Let's tuck Inky into bed. You do exclamation point tuck and then you tag them. You have to wait about 3 seconds in between, but if you guys want to tuck someone into bed when they say they're going to go to sleep, you do exclamation point tuck and then tag their name to make sure that they get some sleep. Thank you so much for the gifted subs over to Radpium and Emmy Kuro. Thank you so much, Tough. Thank you so much, Thick. I'm cut up now. Well, welcome back. I used to work with audio and got used to 4 times speed in conversations. That's true, honestly. You kind of have to get used to it, right? When you have a lot of people to talk to. Hi, Swinky. How are you, cutie? How's your night? I just imagine making coffee and up a hairball after that. No, I definitely never did. Oh, you know what? Really quick, Thick, let me add your kiss to the model. Oh no, thank you for the headband. How are you, lovely? How's your night? How are you, cutie? Let's see. Okay, let's do blue this time. I think I did red for you last time, Thick, but we'll do blue this time. And you know what? You're gonna be right here, right on my collarbone, just under my hair. Oh, that is my hair. No, not my hair. Not my hair. Not my hair. I want it under my hair. There you go. A little bit better. I'm getting there. Not quite. What if I put it right here? No, now it's like attached to something else. Perfect. There you go. Collarbone. A collarbone kiss. Excellent. Just for you, Thick. Thank you so much for those 2 gifted subs. Water for a second day in a row, which I'm not against, but I want mountain water. I mean, how do you know it's not mountain water, huh? Moisten the bones is a very funny way to say get hydrated. Moisten those bones. Oh gosh. I was moving. The E key on my keyboard is having issues. On your keyboard, what happened? Hiro! Funny, please? You want a funny ara? Okay. Alright, I got you, Hiro. Right, Hiro, are you ready? Ready, Hiro? Era. Era. Awa. There you go. There you go, Hiro. Just for you. Living bones. Hi, Red Tree. Welcome in. Living bones should not be dry. Exactly. Your bones should be hydrated and moistened and dyed deep red. Right? That's how that works. I'm doing okay. Better today than I have been. I'm glad you're doing better today. It's always nice to have like a really good day after a spout of like not so really good days, you know? Let me go ahead and adjust myself again. There we go. Best to you. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did, because I adore you and I need to shout out the homies, alright? You're playing some Like a Dragon. Wait, tell us that. How do you like it? Yuki, what did you get, Yuki? It looks like you got... Ooh, black tea. Oh. Okay, thank you for the kiss on my chin. Nor should they be dirty. How are you? I want to see BG3. I'm good. I never finished a playthrough. I had a save corrupted and I lost 20 hours of playtime. I've done a couple different playthroughs with friends, but we never finished it. But it's just like, because of scheduling, we never really got to finish the entire game, you know? Almost was a stream. No, you didn't, Kono. You're here, you're here, you're here. Don't mind the fact that I'm yellow on my phone. You are yellow. Oh no. You're yellow. You're Lelo. You're my favorite Power Ranger. The Yellow Ranger. I've always liked the Yellow Ranger. She's always been, well, okay. I'm thinking about the original Power Rangers, like from the 90s. With like Tommy and Jason and Trini, Kimberly, Billy. There's one other one. I'm just gray. I don't know if you can change your colors on YouTube. If there is a way to do that, I would love to have you guys be able to change your names over on YouTube, but I don't know if you can. I don't bite, I scrape and lick. Like a cat. It's true. But you are a snow leopard, so it makes sense. Have a good lurk. Oh no. Listen here, Dracula. Ooh, green tea. Yum. Got some matcha? Finally. Are they as nice as they looked? Yes, they look really cute. But they add like, so each one is not super sweet, so I can add like 2 to 3, maybe 4 if I want a little bit more sweeter to my drink, and they dissolve so quickly that like it just really enhances the flavor of the coffee. It's really nice. Hi Lloyd, meowdy. How are you? How's your night? Hi Rule. Looking here while I tune in on Twitch. Yeah, of course. If you guys can do me a favor, I do have my YouTube ASMR up as well if you prefer to watch on YouTube. Otherwise, if you prefer to watch on Twitch, can you do me a favor and keep a tab open just so that it helps me in the algorithm to bring attention to the channel to other people who might enjoy the content. It makes my name green. Wait, what? If I'm a member, it makes my name green. Oh, visual novel fan by chance? I do. I love mangas. I like comic books. I grew up reading comics as a kid. My uncle introduced me to X-Men, and he actually gifted me my very first comic book, which was about Jubilee. He thought I'd really like Jubilee, but I fell in love with Kirk. I love Nightcrawler. If I could find some really cute like Nightcrawler plushie, oh, I would sleep with it forever. I switched over again. Welcome back, Michael. I know you said it's easier for you to watch on YouTube while you're at work as opposed to Twitch, so whatever is easier for you, whatever is easiest for you. walking to 7-Eleven to get my lunch. A little late, I was grocery shopping. What's for lunch today? Today for dinner, we had fish and salad. It was so good. Yummy, yummy. I didn't finish my salad. It's actually still right here next to me on my plate. I just haven't finished it. It was ineffable. Alright, now off to bed. Have a good sleep. Oh no, but I have never seen flavored sugar cubes. They're really good. They are, what's the word? They're like, I don't think they themselves are flavored. Let me double check that actually. I don't know if they themselves are flavored, but I think they're just like shaped like coffee beans. But I don't think they themselves have a flavor other than just like sugar. Coffee bean sugar is made with premium imported granulated sugar, the shape of a coffee bean, so you can start the day with a little extra flavor and fun. Make the switch, you won't regret it. Perfectly complements your table decor, bring your coffee break. Okay, so yeah, it's just coffee shaped coffee beans. Or sorry, sugar cubes. It's basically sugar cubes in the shape of a coffee bean. They're really cute. And like I said, they add just a nice little hint of sweetness to my cup. Stinky over here too. Ew, it's Gustav. Gross. Does that extend to visual novel games? Yeah, I do. One of my favorite visual novel games is gosh, what's it called? Coffee. It's a I can't think of the name. Coffee Talk. I love Coffee Talk. It's one of my favorite visual novel games. Have you played that, Toph? Today's my Friday at work, so very happy it's slow at night again. Nice, we love slow days. Slow days at work can be really nice, especially like just before the weekend. Oof, that's gonna be so good. And I'm eager to hear about my favorite roommate on the See You Later. Wait, what? Ow! Ow! What, Gustav? I'm eager to hear about my favorite roommate on the... Oh, 20,000 Leagues. Yes. Coffee Talk? Yes. I love Coffee Talk. It's fantastic. Very Mookie coded. Yeah, I played both games. The first game had a DLC. Not a DLC, sorry. Had a mod so the characters were all voiced. I don't think they did that for the second one. The second one I voiced all on my own. Oh my gosh, the characters were so good. I love their writing. I cannot wait for Tokyo. I think Tokyo comes out soon. Let me double check. Coffee Talk Tokyo. The Coffee Talk Tokyo comes out in May. Oh my gosh, it's coming literally. Okay, you know what we're gonna do at the end of May. Oh, thank you for the hair color change. You know what we're doing at the end of May? We are so gonna be playing Coffee Talk. We're so gonna be playing Coffee Talk. But I've never seen flavored sugar cubes. They're really good. I might get that #1 one day. I mean, it refreshes every week. It is a weekly thing. So if you couldn't do it this week, you could always do it next week. And you know, if you can't do it next week, you can always do it the following week. It's a weekly thing that just kind of refreshes at the end of Sunday night, technically. I just came to drop by, say hi, for good asleep, for test. I barely started for it. Hopefully the test goes well, Kono. I've been arriving late to stream lately because of meds, so my fireplace streak has been broken for a while. Oh no, I'm sorry, Valvera. Malik! Siren girlfriend deserves all my love. Hi, Malik, how are you? How's your night? Hi, handsome. I love to see you play BG3 on stream. I've been wanting to actually pick it back up and do a full playthrough. It's one of those games where I know I'll have more fun like with someone, but trying to find someone that has the time to sit and play that when it's been so many years, you know what I mean? So today has been rough. Had to go get my ID renewed. Second birthday of my mom passed 2 years ago. And my raid was shit and well. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Want a forehead kiss? Thank you for the forehead kiss. Got a 5 place now. How's like that? Cute. 10 out of 10 perfection. Give this woman an enemy. I'm glad you liked it, Hero. How are you, by the way, handsome? How's your night? My autocorrect sucks. Hi, clarinets. How are you? You made me spit my drink with that. Oh, with the era. Awa, 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 awa. Awa, awa, awa. Black tea. Nice. We do like a black tea. Because it's been good, been taken the weekends off this week for some mental health. Good. Yes, definitely enjoy your mental health. Hi, Vickle. How are you, cutie? It's just me, or the coffee bean selection isn't working. The coffee bean selection? What do you mean? What do you mean, Thick? What's not working? How's it not working? I played a Mad Butcher at a haunt. A line I was offered guests a nipple. One group thought I said nipple. Hard to ooh, yeah, no, hard to recover from that. Just laughing. Hi, Fen. How are you, cutie? How's your night? Thank you for the headband. I just watched all 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers not long ago. Really? Wait. Okay, but you have to be honest with me. Trini was by far like the cutest out of like all the characters, in my opinion, right? I've always just really found Trini to be like the cutest. Next to, I always forget the Green Ranger. Is that Tommy? Tommy, was that Jason? I think Jason was the Red Ranger and Tommy was the Green Ranger. This is definitely a Kane question because I don't know. 7,239 points left to 200,000 channel points. What are you gonna do with 200,000 channel? Wait, what's that? 200,000? Oh, okay. I don't have anything that. I actually was thinking. Okay, hear me out, guys. Right? I was thinking of having just one redeem, just one, at like a really high, ridiculous price, at like 100,000 or something like that, and it would be something like mod for a week or something like that, or VIP for a week, or I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Would that be fun? Would that be something you guys would really like? Cronites! Hi, Cronites, welcome in. Let me look at YouTube really quick. Fantastic, very Mookie coded. It is. I love visual novel games. I have nerve damage, so games that require motor control is a little hard for me. Have you heard of 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim? I have not. I have not heard of that. What's that about? Mental health weekends are nice. Honestly, yes. I think everybody every so often needs to take like a whole weekend, not a day, but a whole weekend for a mental health break, to just watch a movie, maybe do some skincare stuff to like make themselves feel nice and like look a little better. Because when you feel good, you look good. Or sorry, when you look good, you feel good. You know what I mean? If 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim isn't up your alley, by the way, I really got to put you up on Opus franchise. I don't know if it comes with any responsibilities, but I always get too tempted when Twitch's streamers have huge redeems to save up forever for. I always like those because it gives me incentive, right, to go to that person's channel and like hang out and lurk and get those points. But then like I forget, because I wait so long that I kind of forget to. I was just like, what was I saving my points up for? By falling asleep to stream. Good. Hi, Aiden. How are you, my son? For lunch, getting fried rice, lamb samosa, and cheese sticks. Ah, samosa. That's so good. Ew, stinky siren. Ew, stinky bear. Coffee-shaped coffee beans? It's coffee-shaped. It's coffee bean-shaped sugar cubes. Hi, Cooper. How are you, cutie? How's your night? See that new PFP art on Discord? Isn't it cute? You guys want to see the art that me and Inky got for Christmas? So me and Inky went halfsies on a piece of art for Christmas for each other. So technically, if you think about it, she paid for my half and I paid for her half, right? And so let me show you the art piece that she and I got. It is so heckin' cute. Look at this. Look at this cutie patootie piece of art that me and Inkis Bobinkis got. Here. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay, there's that. Yeah, that's the end of that. And then here, if I extend it this way, there we go. There's the art. Isn't that heckin' cute? It's so cute. If you guys can't read it down here, where me and her are having like a glass of wine, it says 𝙬𝙎𝙈 time, which is basically like gossip time where me and her will gather together and we'll like spill the tea about just things, you know, like, oh my gosh, you won't believe what you know, mom and dad did, or, you know, oh, did you see this thing from Twitter about whatever? And she'll draw and I'll like watch her draw or something, and we 𝙬𝙎𝙈. It's great. It's great. So if you guys ever hear me talking about Inky, this is my Inky Pop Inky. Stinky Inky. I love her. This is my girl. This is my baby. She's so cute. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. That is adorable. Right? That's super cute art. Right? I love it so much. Hubby, I'm good. Cooper, how about you? I have stared at Coffee Talk so many times. It is such a good game, Tara. The characters are really cute. Hi Fish, how are you? Sent you a nutcracker. Nightcrawler pot plushie link. What? You did? Wait. Wait, no. Okay, but that's so cute. Oh, and it's like comic book accurate Nightcrawler. Oh, I want him. I want him. I'm gonna like that. Okay, I'm putting that on my throne. I'm just gonna pin it for now. That is so cute. I love that. It wasn't me, it was my cat. Sure. Hi, Granuts. My weekend was good. How was your week so far? I know it's just Tuesday, but hopefully you've had a good Tuesday so far. I've missed my Siren girlfriend. I need to make more art of us. We do. Oh my gosh, I really like that one where we're cuddling together when I got this sweater outfit. Oh, it's so cute. Hi Rio, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? How are you, handsome? Tommy was green and then white, right? Because he went from, I think he was like one of the prehistoric Zoids. I think that's what they called their mechas, right? It's been so long. And then he went Falcon because he lost the, like, because he was no longer a bad guy, so he became the white ranger, right? Megazords, that's what it was. One of the Zords. Yes. Taco Tuesday was great today, plus everyone's getting overtime. Taco Tuesday. Ooh, what kind of tacos? And everyone who says hear me out, I worry. I would like it before I do. Happy Trans Visibility. Yes, everybody, it is Trans Visibility Day, so happy Trans Visibility Day. Make sure to go give your trans friends all the high fives if they don't like smooches. Otherwise, give them smooches on the cheekies, on their forehead. Maybe they want like hand kisses. I don't know, but have a good look, Cooper. Let's see, what did she get, Fen? He got some water. I did just have a pretzel. Yes, drink your water. At this point, Mukia is an expert chat librarian. Oh, there's a reading. It's true. Adds to the ASMR because her voice is very relaxing. Very relaxing. It's true. Like a blueberry. Get it? Because I'm blue. Anyways, that is adorable. It's so cute. Inky is the one who made your model and your 2.0 model that's coming up soon. Yes, Inky is the one who, she didn't do this model art, but she did do my reference sheet, and she and I sat together for about 2 weeks in a voice call coming up with the concept of my current design, and she and I are working on the 2.0. I have showed you guys the 2.0 design, but if you guys haven't seen it, this is the 2.0 design that we are trying to work towards getting. So if you guys aren't able to, you can do !throne, and I do have a crowd fund going for the design. So we're going to do 3 outfits on the model as well as a monster form. So that is what we're going towards. Obviously seashells, because appropriate, gotta be safe for work, right? Expert, it's true. Add to the ASMR. I'm currently aiming for Ken's 50k. What's Ken's 50k? Redeem. Gorgeous. That is absolutely adorable, right? Tommy was always my favorite. Trini and Zach are second and third. 𝙇𝙞𝙫𝙚, the actress that played Trini, passed away. And oh, yeah, she did. I believe it was a car accident, right? I was so sad when I found out that she passed away. It's illegal. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I'll be posting it probably after stream tonight, the art, because there was one with the words, one without the subtext, and then they also did like a little thank you thing, and the art for the thank you thing is just as cute. The artist's name is Dollhouse. I think that's her name. 𝙇𝙬𝙈. Their name is 𝙇𝙬𝙈. That did the art of me and Inky. I will drop their link in chat in case anyone else is interested in getting a sketch page. That's what me and Inky did. We got a sketch page from them. And they did it pretty quickly. Even if you're on the wait list, they did it very quickly. Gossip time. I want to hear the gossip. You want to hear gossip? You like cheese my toothache? I need that for my phone thing. That's so cute. Hi Raffle, hi Nimmy. Nightcrawler is bae. He is. Oh my gosh, I love Kurt so much. Oh, he's just the cutest. Tommy had Godzilla's sword. Yes. Okay. So was Godzilla. Hi Lush, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? I'm visible? You're visible? What do you mean? Would Momo be okay if I made art of a smooching? Yeah, I'm fine with that. I do have a thing in my Discord under the arts channel, like Art of Me, Mukya Arts, where it has a, what's the word? It has a pinned message where there's my reference sheet as well as pictures of my model, as well as a fan art rule sheet. So I'm pretty much okay with most things. Like I said, when it comes to lewd, I'm pretty much okay with most things, but when it comes to blood and gore, I do say at least ask me first before you just go do it. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things I'm not okay with when it comes to my bottle being like either doing violence or having violence done to them. But I understand fan art is fan art, right? And sometimes maybe you guys want to see like your own interpretation of like a fight sequence or something like that, right? But yeah, you are more than welcome to draw me however you would like. Just anything that says like has a little like thought bubble, ask me. This is actually my first day of visibility. This is your first day of visibility? Oh my gosh, welcome to your first day. Is that the right phrasing? You know what? I'm gonna say welcome to your first day of trans visibility. Speaking of Power Rangers, the original Mighty Morphin series, there's a comic series by Boom Comics production with the plot, what if Jason, the Green Ranger, stayed evil? Oh, that would have changed so much. She thick, Monster Momo, right? Oh, I love the monster form so much. Zoids are a series of metal. You're right, Zoids was like metal models, and it was like different animals. I remember Zoids. I don't have a model yet, but I want to try VTubing. Coffee Talk inspired the model I want eventually. I'm back. Welcome back, Toph. Welcome back. But if you do get into VTubing, if you join my Discord, I don't know if you are on Twitch, Toph, but if you do come to Twitch, I do have a Discord where you can ask questions from other people about like how VTubing works, and if you need any ideas or help with anything, that would be a great place because everybody's very helpful, very cool, very nice, and you're more than welcome to it. I just stepped back from Twitch. Ah, okay. Wait. Oh, you did. You did. If you check out the Discord, if you want to join, you're obviously more than welcome to. Here, I'll drop the link in Discord. Let's see. ORD. There we go. Oh, thank you, Gustav. I didn't know you're here. Thank you, Gustav. I will grab that and I will put that into the YouTube. That way, if you want to follow it, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. There you go, Toph. Hear me out, okay? Listening to me. I'm listening. Beautiful. Hi, Cherry. Welcome in. How are you, lovely? Would let her lead me underwater. You would. What is it? How does that song go? Get in the water. Seashells to protect your modesty. Exactly, exactly. As for X-Men, I've always been a Rogue and Storm fan. Oh my gosh, yes. Rogue and Storm are S tier. I absolutely adore them. And Kitty. Everybody's just like, oh, well, Kitty's powers are kind of like, meh. I'm just like, if you actually look at all of her abilities and everything that she can do, like, obviously down the line, when she learns how to control her own powers, she is heckin' OP. She is so OP. I Snoop. You're gonna look at my throne. No, you're gonna see all the crazy stuff that I have on my throne. I have some crazy stuff. I'm just like, oh, that's pretty. Oh, that would be cool. That's nice. I like this. You know, Mimu, I just want to make cute art of us. True. I would never dream of doing any of that to you. I mean, that's true. But I know some people really like to have like fight sequence art, and they like to have like art of like, well, what if Mukyo was in like this type of universe? And I'm totally okay with that, with like pretty much any type of art, lewd or safer work or even gore. I'm pretty much okay with most things. That's why I say, if you're not sure and it's not on that like that paper thing that I have on, not the paper thing, sorry, that little like rules, fan art rules thing, if it's not listed there, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'm so okay with just you guys asking. I'm fine with that. I still need to draw Miku Mumu. Miko me. Yes. Your Nico kneecaps. Hi Tattletale, how are you? Oh my gosh, yes. I love Joel. I love Joel so much. I love that emote. The Foxy badge, so cute. Huh? There we go. My plans to get art of you drowning me at sea. I'll have to think of something else. Be careful, the Discord is stinky. Yeah, because Gustav's in it, it's true. I shared a meme about this in Discord, but one of my favorite character tropes is unapologetically evil villains, whose one redeeming quality is being a good parent. Okay, for example, did you know that despite being a sociopathic serial killer doll, Chucky from Child's Play is very accepting of their child's gender fluid kid. Yes. Yes, I always thought that was really cute. You're just like, okay, but he's a sociopathic serial killer, but when his kid is just like, when his kid comes out to him, Chucky's just like, that's okay, baby, I still love you, right? You're just like, aw. Recently watched the full animation of Epic. How did you like it? Did you cry? Kitty's powers are nuts, right? Her powers are insane. They are so crazy. Cherry. Jesus Christ. I also really like Domino, like a superpower. Domino. Hers is luck. You're right, just always lucky. Everything just always falls into place the way that she wants it to. That's so cool. Hi, Puchita. It's been a hot minute. It has. Hopefully you've been doing good. Gonna get art of Slave Leiamu. I mean, as long as I look slay in her outfit, I'm fine. The film Jaws is still celebrating its 50th anniversary. What? Do you own a Switch? I do not own a Switch. The last Nintendo device that I purchased was a Nintendo Wii. I still have my Nintendo Wii. But I do not have a Switch, no. I'm in the Discord, but as of now, I just use it to check the schedule. But I'm building up courage to talk to her eventually. Yeah, no, of course, Michael. You take your time. As long as you're, like, even if you don't ever want to post anything and you're using it to just kind of, like, catch up on things and watch things, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm so okay with that. I'm just shameless by nature. I have to be. You're so okay. You're so okay, Top. You don't own a Switch? Rude. Am I right here? Not that. I mean, as a Switch myself, technically I do own one. I love to keep listening to on loop with my sister. I didn't cry, but I was constantly on edge of my seat, belting the lyrics and rooting for all my favorites. Right? Oh my gosh, the film Jaws. Yeah. Well, for starters, today's one. It's your birthday, even though it's April Fool's. Okay, but you're not pulling a fast one on us, right? Like it's actually your birthday. Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday? Do you want a birthday treat? Let's put a birthday treat on the table. Let's see. What kind of treat do I think 𝙼𝙎𝙈 would like? You know what? Hold on, wait. Do I have... You know what? 𝙼𝙎𝙈, how about a delicious stack of strawberries and cream pancakes? Oh, they're very tiny. Hold on, let me just use the Willy Wonka like chocolate enhancer to make the pancakes big. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. There's your birthday treat. There's your birthday treat. Happy birthday, 𝙼𝙎𝙈. Happy birthday. Domino's powered. I have casino and bell. Honestly, same. Fair. Hi, Misa. Welcome in. Hi, Cubone. Cubone. That's a great sentence to join stream to. What did you join in on? What did I say? I'd never seen Jaws, but I remember back when I was in middle school, I had a t-shirt of the classic movie poster, but I haven't learned until yesterday that Jaws is a horror movie? How? I mean, because it's scary to think of like being on a remote island and not being able to really do anything about this monster that can literally destroy and attack your ship, you know? I mean, seriously, my mom just really hated me for some reason. No, they didn't. Happy birthday, 𝙼𝙎𝙈. Oh yeah, it's a cake. I forgot about that. Pancakes. I mean, I could do regular cake if you prefer regular cake, but pancakes. Do you not like pancakes? Who your favorite epic character is, 𝙼𝙎𝙈? Is it Cersei? Do you like Cersei? I love Cersei. She's really cool. Do I think there's a command for it? Just know I'm giving you my cake. Well, we have, if you guys are a subscriber, we do have a cake emote. We do have a cake emote. Here, I'll drop it in chat for you guys. There you go. We have cake emotes. How did I know? Because I know you, 𝙼𝙎𝙈. I know you. I know you. Well, 13 Sentinels is off the table unless you actually have a PS4, PS5, so I'll have to shill Opus, I suppose. Happy birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Toph on YouTube says happy birthday to you, 𝙼𝙎𝙈. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yes, make sure you guys give them hugs. Saying you are a Switch, so technically you do own one. I mean, I'm a top-leaning Switch, and I've talked about this a handful of times. I am a top-leaning Switch. I don't mind being the bottom, but I do prefer, on a general basis, to be on top. Appreciate it, of course. Hope you had a good birthday. Do you have plans for today, for your birthday? Did your day just start? That's a lot of strength, right? It's a big hug. Hi, Misha. No, I love pancakes. It's just that I forgot that you're running a cafe here. Yeah, it's a cafe. It's your favorite cafe. So we can do pancakes, we can do croissant, we can also do jello, we can do custard. I can give you a sundae with fruit and chocolate, or with matcha, whatever you would like. Without Jaws, then Australian Outback Steakhouse wouldn't have their drink literally called Shark Attack. I love my mom, but sometimes she doesn't think. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I think there's certain things that our parents do where you're just like, they're not thinking right now, it's okay. You know what I mean? I loved all the women in Epic. My two are Cersei and Penelope. Oh my gosh. Yes. Penelope. Oh my gosh. The song that she does, what is it? Whoever can string my husband's old bow and shoot through 12 axes cleanly will be the new king, will sit at the throne and take me as his queen. Something like that. Yeah. I fucking love Epic. let the arrows fly. Ugh, so nice. Maybe laying on top best. Yes, I thank you for the head pet. Hi, No Wine. Welcome in. Thank you for the check-in as well as the head pet. I do adore sharks a lot. Me too. I love sharks. Sharks are so tasty and cutie. One of my favorite shark friends, his name is Ken 𝙇𝙬𝙈. If you guys don't know who Ken 𝙇𝙈 is, he is a green VTuber shark. So of course we love Ken. If you guys like sharks as much as I do, there is his link right there. We have ads starting in about 2 minutes, guys. Just a reminder, after the break, we'll be switching over to do some story time. Happy birthday, yeah! Making me hungry. Go get some pancakes. Yeah, I turned 24 an hour ago. Happy birthday! You know what? Really quick, I'm gonna pause the music. We're gonna pause the music and we're gonna sing happy birthday to Pochita. Normally we don't do it on ASMR nights, but we'll do it because, you know, we can do it softly. I would love for everybody, especially on YouTube, to type in happy birthday with me as we sing the happy birthday song, and we're gonna count on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pochita. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Blow out your whipped cream because you don't have candles on your pancakes. Waiting. Yes, I love her. Only heard a couple songs myself, but definitely want to set aside time. We should do, you know what? We should do that on Friday, because Ken is actually going to be joining us. Another reason why I brought up Ken 𝙇𝙈 is he will be joining us. We'll be playing some 𝘼𝙎𝙈 on Friday night. So if you guys would like to come in and hang out, we'll be listening to the soundtrack when we do our Just Chatting segment, and then we'll be switching on over to do some 𝘼𝙎𝙈. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. Other mom story that I have is that she made tostadas right when I got my braces. Until she served me, she's just like, oh, oops, sorry, mija. Yeah, or mijo. I don't know what your pronouns are. Yeah, Top says happy birthday too. Thank you. Thank you guys for singing with me. Jaws is a monster horror. They tend to be low on scare factor, but the horror mostly comes from the supernatural qualities of the monster and having to survive the encounter. Yes, that's what makes it a scary movie. I just got goosebumps from your Lily singing. Like, yeah, yes, I'm glad. I love to sing, and I want to do more covers and stuff like that. And I keep saying this, I want to do more covers and stuff, but it's really expensive to hire somebody. Ad should be starting in a minute, guys. I will be catching up on chat really quick, and then I will be doing a quick BRB. Let me just make sure. Story time. Yeah, story time. Have been doing good? I've been doing good, Val. Let's see. Let's see. Has one of the best soundtracks. It does, Nyx. It really does. Oh, happy birthday. Hope you have a great time. Yeah. Hi, Legion. Welcome in. I'm still thinking about Reboot Genetic Opera. Me too. Such a good movie. Okay. Ads are starting, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick after the raid. Hi Bear, welcome in. How are you? Welcome on in, raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. If you guys would like a drink, I can do tea, boba, coffee, hot cocoa. However, the cake is extra. How was Monster Hunter? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. We are on a BRB, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch on over, and I'm going to get everything ready for the story time, and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you all got nice and comfortable. Maybe got some water. Hopefully, you guys got a nice drink. Something cozy and tasty to have while we do some reading tonight. Let me go ahead and let's switch on over. I have a little bit of a surprise. Hopefully you guys like laying on the floor with me. We have our sketchbook, we have our pillows. We're nice and comfortable on this cool spring evening. Yeah, you guys like it? You guys like laying on the floor with me, getting nice and cozy? I do too. There it is. Alright, let me go ahead and I have a couple different POVs for us to sit down at. Welcome back, cute. If I wasn't at work, I'd definitely be laying down too. Yes, lay down with me. Hi, Bear. I may rest my eyes while listening to like this. It's lovely. Yes, thank you so much, Bear, for coming in and hanging out. Make sure you get nice and cozy, get comfortable while we read some 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea tonight. Give me 1 second. I have to find my book. Where's my book? Book. Let's see. Where did I put my book? There's my book. I got it. A good thing this is a magic book, so it just kind of floats in place, you know? But let's get cozy, let's get comfortable, and let's go ahead and read some 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. If you guys would like to follow along with the book, there is the link right there to the book. We are on chapter 14. Quite nice and comfortable. I actually kind of like laying on the floor personally. I think it's really cozy, especially when the floor is like cold and then you put a blanket on top and some pillows. It's a nice like stretch for your back. It's just nice, right? It has a good feeling. But really quick, let me make sure I don't owe. I owe 2 people forehead kisses. They're so thick. And Sloth. And then we have a care package as well. So let's go ahead and let's do a quick care package, everybody. So everybody sit up straight, tilt your head to the left, and tilt your head to the right. Hi TM, welcome in. Look up. And look down. Trust these floors though. No, that's fair. I would not lay down on the floors at work either. And drink some Wawa. You have tile floor, you know, that's very fair. I have a hardwood floors in all over the cafe. In my room, the only room that has tile is the kitchen and the bathroom, and I don't think you guys will be laying down on the kitchen or the bathroom floor willingly. But on the living room floor where there's a carpet, and I have a bunch of pillows, like those really big pillows you can kind of just like lay down on while you're laying on the floor, and you can read a book or you can scroll your phone on a tablet, you know. Now those are really good nights. My god, finally someone else says the floor is comfy. I think the floor can be very comfortable with the right like pillows and blankets and stuff. Make it a third. Doesn't matter the flooring for me really. I get comfy in no matter what. Laying down in your kitchen. Why would you lay down in my kitchen? This is nice. I'm glad you're cozy. Where can I buy these floor pillows? They are like Bed Bath & Beyond. I see them there. You can find them at like, honestly, you can probably even go to like a, what are they called? Like a pet store and get those really big dog beds. Like the ones that are just like a big pillow. And you could use those. They're usually a little bit cheaper and they're made of sturdier material, just as soft, but they will last a lot longer because of that. You know what I mean? So, laying on the kitchen floor does have an advantage for snacks that fall off. So if I'm making something for food and I just knock the food over onto the floor, you would enjoy that? Okay, I could see that. Because you drop some food on the floor. I never drop food. Food never falls on the floor for me. I'm very good about making sure nothing is on the floor like that. Kinda curious now about floor pillows. You should take a look. You can find some really, really cute ones. I'm actually going to change the music really quick. Let me see. How about this one? Here we go. This one sounds good. Not what I was imagining. Let me see. Nope. I said nope. I really should have done this before. Here we go. How about this one? Yeah, I like this. Perfect. All right. It's very quiet though. It's very, very quiet though. I think we'll just go back to what I was listening to before. Can't go wrong with this one. All right. We are prepared. We are ready to venture 20,000 leagues under the sea. Okay, go ahead. Get some sleep. Get some rest. Lucy? Lucidud. Have a good luck, 𝙼𝙎𝙈. Chapter 14 of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The Black Current. Lucy is fine. Okay. The part of the planet Earth that the seas occupy has been assessed at 3,823,558 square myriameters. Hence, more than 38 billion hectares. This liquid mass holds 2.2 billion cubic miles and could form a sphere with a diameter of 6 leagues, whose weight would be 3 quintillion metric tons. To appreciate such a number, we should remember that a quintillion is to a billion what a billion is to 1. In other words, there are as many billions in a quintillion as ones in a billion. Now then, this liquid mass nearly equals the total amount of water that is poured through all the Earth's rivers for the past 40,000 years. During prehistoric times, an era of fire was followed by an era of water. At first, there was ocean everywhere. Then, during the Silurian period, the tops of mountains gradually appeared above the waves. Islands emerged and disappeared beneath temporary floods, rose again, refused to form continents, and finally, the Earth's geography settled into what we have here today. Solid matter had wrestled from liquid matter some 37 million square miles, hence 12 billion hectares. I think that's what that is. More boys love and math nerds with 20,000, honestly, yes. The outlines of the continents allow the sea to be divided into 5 major parts: the frozen Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean extends north to south between the 2 polar circles and east to west between America and Asia over an expanse of 145 degrees of longitude. It is the most tranquil of the seas. Its currents are wide and slow-moving, its tides moderate, its rainfall abundant, and this was the ocean that I was first destined to cross under these strange of auspices. Hi Kento, welcome in, how are you? If you don't mind, Professor, Captain Nemo told me, we'll determine our exact position and fix the starting point of our voyage. It's 15 minutes before noon. I'm going to rise to the surface of the water. The captain pressed an electric bell 3 times. The pumps began to expel water from the ballast tanks. On the pressure gauge, a needle marked the decreasing pressures that indicated the Nautilus's upward progress. Then the needle stopped. Here we are, the captain said. I made my way to the central companionway which led to the platform. I climbed its metal steps, passed through the open hatches, and arrived topside on the Nautilus. The platform emerged only 80 centimeters above the waves. The Nautilus's bow and stern boasted that spindle-shaped outline that had caused the ships to be compared appropriately to a long cigar. I noted the slightly overlap of its sheet iron plates, which resembled the scales covering the bodies of our big land reptiles. So I had a perfectly natural explanation for why, despite the best spyglasses, this boat had always been mistaken for a marine animal. Near the middle of the platform, the skiff was half set in the ship's hull, making a slight bulge. Hi, God Hunter, welcome in, how are you? Fore and aft stood two couples of moderate height, their sides slanting and partly inlet with heavy biconvex glass, one reserved for the helmsman steering the Nautilus, the other for the brilliance of the powerful electric beacon lighting his way. The sea was magnificent, the skies clear. This long aquatic vehicle could barely feel the broad undulations of the ocean. A mild breeze out of the east rippled the surface of the water, free of all mist. The horizon was ideal for taking sights. But there was nothing to be seen. Not a reef, not an islet, no more Abraham Lincoln. A deserted immenseness. Raising his sextant, Captain Nemo took the altitude of the sun, which would give him his latitude. He waited for a few minutes until the orb touched the rim of the horizon. While he was taking his sights, he didn't move a muscle, and the instrument couldn't have been steadier in hands made out of marble. Noon, said the professor. He said, Professor, whenever you're ready. I took one last look at the ocean, a little yellowish near the landing places of Japan, and I went below again to the main lounge. There the captain fixed his positions and used a chronometer to calculate his longitude, which he double-checked against his previous observations of our angles. Then he told me, Professor Enois, we're in longitude 137 degrees, 15 west. West of which meridian? I asked quickly, hoping the captain's reply might give me a clue to his nationality. Sir, he answered me, I have chronometers variously set to the meridians of Paris, Greenwich, and Washington, D.C., but, in your honor, I'll use the one for Paris. This reply told me nothing. I bowed, and the commander went on. We're in longitude 137, 15 west of the meridian of Paris, and latitude 30 degrees 7 north, in other words, about 300 miles from the shores of Japan. At noon on this day of November 8th, we hereby begin our voyage of exploration under the waters. May God be with us, I replied. And now, Professor, the captain added, I'll leave you to your intellectual pursuits. I've set our course east-north at a depth of 50 meters. Here are some large-scale charts on which you'll be able to follow the course. The lounge is at your disposal, and with your permission, I take my leave. Captain Nemo bowed. I was left to myself, lost in my thoughts. They all centered on the Nautilus's commander. Would I ever learn the nationality of this eccentric man who had boasted of having none? His sworn hate for humanity, a hate that perhaps was bent on some dreadful voyage. What had provoked it? Was he one of those unappreciated scholars, one of those geniuses, like embittered by the world, as Conseil expressed it, a latter-day Galileo, or maybe one of those men of science, like America's Commander Maury, whose careers were ruined by political revolutions? I couldn't yet say. As for me, whom fate had just brought aboard his vessel, whose fate he had held in the balance, he had received me coolly but hospitably. Only he never took the hand I extended to him. he never extended his own. Hi Johan, welcome in. How are you, cutie? For an entire hour, I was deep in these musings, trying to probe the mystery that fascinated me so. Then, my eyes focused on a huge world map displayed on the table. I put my finger on the very spot where our just determined longitude and latitude intersected. Like the contents of sea, it had rivers. These are exclusive currents that can be identified by their temperature and color. The most remarkable being the one called Gulf Stream. Scientists have defined the global paths of 5 chief currents, one in the North Atlantic, a second in the South Atlantic, third in the North Pacific, and fourth in the South Pacific, and a fifth in the Southern Indian Ocean. Also, it's likely that a 6th current used to exist in the Northern Indian Ocean when the Caspian and Aral Seas joined up with the large Asian lakes to form a single, uniform expanse of water. Now then, at the spot indicated on the world map, one of these sea-going rivers was rolling by, the 𝙼𝙎𝙈 of the Japanese, the Black Current. Heated by particular rays from the tropical sun, it leaves the Bay of Bengal, crosses the Strait of Malacca, goes up the shores of Asia, and curves into the North Pacific as far as the Aleutian Islands, carrying along trunks of camphor trees and other local items. I'm doing a lot better. Are you too? I'm good, God Hunter. How about you? In this current, the Nautilus was about to cross. I watched it on the map with my eyes. I saw it lose itself in the immenseness of the Pacific, and I felt myself swept along with it when Ned Land and Conseil appeared in the lounge doorway. My 2 gallant companions stood petrified at the sight of the wonders on display. "Where are we?" the Canadian explained. "The Quebec Museum." "Begging master's pardon," Conseil answered, "but this seems more like a summit artifacts exhibition." "My friends," I replied, signaling them to enter, "you are neither in Canada nor France, but securely aboard the Nautilus, 50 meters below sea level." "If master says so, then so be it," Conseil answered, "but in all honesty, this lounge is enough to astonish even someone Flemish like myself. Indulge your astonishment, my friend, and have a look, because there's plenty of work here for a classifier of your talents." Conseil needed no encouraging. Bending over the glass cases, the gallant lad was already muttering choice words from the Nautilus's library. Class Gastropodia, family Boconidia, genus Cowrie, species Crypea, Madagascarisis, etc. Meanwhile, Ned Land, less dedicated to conchology, questioned me about my interview with Captain Nemo. Had I discovered who he was, where he came from, where he was heading, how deep he was taking us? In short, 1,000 questions I had no time to answer. I told him everything I knew, or rather, everything I didn't know, and I asked him what he had seen or heard on his part. "Haven't seen or heard a thing," the Canadian replied. "I haven't even spotted the crew of this boat. By any chance, could they be electric too?" "Electric? Oh, the gods, if I'm half tempted to believe it. But back to you, Professor 𝘼𝙎𝙈," Ned Land said, still hanging on to his ideas. "Can't you tell me how many men are on board? 10, 20, 50, 100? "I'm unable to answer you, Mr. Land, and trust me on this. For the time being, get rid of these notions of taking over the Nautilus or escaping from it. This boat is a masterpiece of modern technology, and I'd be sorry to have missed it. Many people would welcome the circumstances that have been handed to us, just to walk in the midst of these wonders. So keep calm, and let's see what's happening around us." When he compares Nemo's hands to marble, he inadvertently compares him to the beauty of a marble statue. Another appreciation of another man. Yes. So in the story, the author, gosh, what's his name? Jules Verne, he often will make some kind of comment about the beauty of a gentleman, and he's talked about how much he really likes the appearance of Ned Land, that even though Conseil, his male butler, or he calls him his man in waiting, I guess, basically, bonkology, I have a PhD in that one. Hi Bone, and good night Gaga, welcome in, how are you? Jules Verne more than once uses the professor to talk about how handsome, attractive, or captivating Ned Land and Captain Nemo are. It's really cute. It's actually really cute. I like it. See, the harpooner exclaimed. There's nothing to see. Nothing we'll ever see from this sheet iron prison. We're simply running around blindfolded. Ned Land was just pronouncing these last words when we were suddenly plunged into darkness. Utter darkness. The ceiling lights went out so quickly my eyes literally ached, just as if we had experienced the opposite sensation of going from the deepest gloom to the brightest sunlight. We stood stock still, not knowing what surprise waited for us, whether pleasant or unpleasant, but a sliding sound became audible. You could tell that some panels were shifting over the Nautilus's sides. It's the beginning of the end, Ned Land said. Order 𝙍𝙈, Conseil muttered. Suddenly, through two oblong openings, daylight appeared on both sides of the lounge. The liquid masses came into view, brightly lighting up the ship's electric outpourings. We were separated from the sea by 2 panes of glass. Initially, I shuddered at the thought that these fragile partitions could break, but strong copper bands secured them, giving them nearly infinite resistance. The sea was clearly visible for a 1-mile radius around the Nautilus. What a sight! What pen could describe it? Who could portray the effects of this light through these translucent sheets of water, the subtlety of its progressive shadings into the ocean's upper and lower strata? The transparency of salt water had long been recognized. Its clarity is believed to exceed that of spring water. The mineral and organic substances it holds in suspension actually increase its translucency. In certain parts of the Caribbean Sea, you can see the sandy bottom with startling distinctness, as deep as 145 meters down, and the penetrating power of the sun's rays seemed to give out only at a depth of 300 meters. But in this fluid setting traveled by the Nautilus, our electric glow was being generated by the very heart of the waves. It was no longer illuminated water, it was liquid light. If we accept these hypotheses of microbiologist Ehrenberg, who believes that these underwater depths are lit up by phosphorescent organisms, nature has certainly saved one of her most prodigious sights for residents of the sea. And I could judge for myself from the 1,000-fold play of the light. On both sides, I had windows opening over these unexplored depths. The darkness of the lounge enhanced the brightness outside, and we stared as if this clear glass were the window of an immense aquarium. The Nautilus seemed to be standing still. This was due to the lack of landmarks, but streaks of water parted by the ship's spurs sometimes threaded before our eyes with extraordinary speed. In wonderment, we leaned on our elbows before these show windows, and our stunned silence remained unbroken until Conseil said, "You wanted to see something, Ned, my friend. Well, now you have something to see." "How unusual," the Canadian put in, setting aside his tantrums and getaway schemes while submitting to this irresistible allure. A man could go an even greater distance just to stare at such a sight. I exclaimed. "I see our captain's way of life. He found himself a separate world that saves its most astonishing wonders just for him." "But where are the fish?" the Canadian ventured to observe. "I don't see any fish." "Why would you care, Ned, my friend?" Conseil replied, "since you have no knowledge of them." "Me? A fisherman?" Ned Land exclaimed. And on this subject a dispute arose between the two friends, since both were knowledgeable about fish, but from totally different standpoints. Everyone knows that fish make up fourth and last class in the vertebrate branch. They have been quite aptly defined as cold-blooded vertebrates with a double circulatory system, breathing through gills, and designed to live in water. They consist of two distinct series: the series of bony fish, in other words, those whose spines have vertebrae made of bone, and cartilage fish, in other words, those spines who have been made of cartilage. Possibly the Canadian was familiar with this distinction, but Conseil knew far more about it, and since he and Ned were now fast friends, he just had to show off. So he told the harpooner, "Ned, my friend, you are slayer of fish, a highly skilled fisherman. You've caught a large number of these fascinating animals, but I bet you don't know how they're classified." "Sure I do," the harpooner replied in all seriousness. "They're classified into fish we eat and fish we don't." "Spoken like a true glutton," Conseil replied. "But tell me, are you familiar with the difference between bony fish and cartilaginous fish?" "Just maybe, Conseil. And how about the subdivisions of these two large classes?" "I haven't the foggiest notion," the Canadian replied. "All right then, listen and learn, Ned, my friend. Bony fish are subdivided into 6 orders. Primo, the Arcanthopterians, whose upper jaw is fully formed and free-moving, and whose gills take up the shape of a comb. This order consists of 15 families, so in other words, 3/4 of all known fish. For example, the common perch." "Pretty fair eating," Ned replied. Secundo, I think it means second. Second, Conseil went on, the abdominals, whose pelvic fins hang over the abdomen to the rear of the pectorals, but aren't attached to the shoulder bone. An order that's divided into 5 families that makes up the great majority of freshwater fish. Examples: carp and pike. That's a cute emote, God Hunter. The boy toy breaks out into a musical number as he educates the swole Canadian fisherman. Oh my gosh, yes. That'd be so funny. Fish we eat and fish we don't. I like the Canadian's logic. What more do you need to know? Right? Exactly. I mean, from a foodie's point of view, yes, I would agree. But from, like, the point of view of... what's the word? Of, myself, personally, yeah, I don't really need to know much more than that. So I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. Oh, lots of those. For example, cop and pike. Ugh, the Canadian put in with distinct scorn. You can keep the freshwater fish. Tertio, Conseil said, as in third. The 𝙼𝙈𝙍, whose pelvic fins are attached under the pectorals and hang directly from the shoulder bone. This order contains 4 families. Examples: flatfish such as sole, turbot, dab, pallas, brill, etc. Excellent, really excellent, the harpooner exclaimed, interest in fish only from an edible point of view. Cuatro, Conseil went on, unabashed. The apods, with long bodies that lack pelvic fins and are covered by a heavy, often glutinous skin, an order consisting of only 1 family. Examples: common eels and electric eels. So-so, just so-so, Ned Land replied. Quinto, Conseil said. Lophobrachians, I think that's how you say that, which have fully formed 3 moving jaws, but whose gills consist of little tufts arranged in pairs along their gill arches. This order includes only 1 family. Examples: seahorses and dragonfish. Bad, very bad. The harpooner replied. Sexto and last, Conseil said. The pectognaths, whose maxillary bone is firmly attached to the side of their intermaxillary that forms the jaw, and whose palate arc is locked into the skull of sutures that render the jaw immovable. España, thanks for the follow, welcome in. To order a lacking true pelvic fins, with which consists of 2 families. For examples: puffers and moonfish. They're an insult to a frying pan, the Canadian exclaimed. Are you grasping all of this, Ned, my friend? Asked the scholarly Conseil. Not a lick of it, Conseil, my friend, the harpooner replied, but keep going, because you fill me with fascination. As for cartilaginous fish, Conseil went on unflappably, they consist of only 3 orders. Good news, Ned put in. Primo, the cyclotomes, whose jaws are fused into a flexible ring and whose gills open are simply a large number of holes, an order consisting of only 1 family. Example: the lamprey, an accurate and acquired taste, Ned Land replied. Secundo, the cilicians, with gills resembling those of the cyclotomes, but whose lower jaw is free-moving. This order, which is the most important in the class, consists of 2 samples. Example: the ray and the shark. What? Ned Land exclaimed. Rays and man-eaters in the same order? Well, Conseil, my friend, on behalf of the rays, I wouldn't advise you to put them in the same fish tank. Tertio, Conseil replied. The Sturionians, that's a weird word, whose gill openings is the usual single slit adorned with a gill covered, an order consisting of 4 genera. Example: the sturgeon. Conseil, my friend, you saved the best for last, in my opinion. Anyhow, and that's all of them? Yes, my gallant Conseil replied. And note well, even when one has grasped all this, one still knows next to nothing, because these families are subdivided into genre, subgenre, species, varieties. All right, Conseil, my friend, the harpooner said, leaning forward the glass panel. Here, come a couple of your varieties now. Yes, fish, Conseil exclaimed. One would think he was in front of an aquarium. No, I replied, because an aquarium is nothing more than a cage, and these fish are as free as birds in the air. Well, Conseil, my friend, identify them. Start naming them, Ned Land exclaimed. Me? Conseil replied. I'm unable to. That's my employer's bailiwick. And in truth, although the fine lad was a classifying maniac, he was no naturalist, and I doubt that he could tell a bonito from a tuna. In short, he was the exact opposite of the Canadian, who knew nothing about classification, but could instantly put a name to any fish. A triggerfish, I said. It's a Chinese triggerfish, Ned Land replied. Genus Blistus, family Sclerodoma perplectogena, Conseil muttered. Assuredly, Ned and Conseil, in combination, added up to one outstanding naturalist. The Canadian was not mistaken. Cavorting around the Nautilus was a school of triggerfish with flat bodies, grainy skins, armed with stings on their dorsal fins, and with 4 prickly rows of quills quivering from both sides of their tails. Nothing could have been more wonderful than the skin covering them, white underneath, gray above, with spots of gold sparkling in the dark eddies of the water. Around them, rays were undulating like sheets flapping in the wind, and among these I spotted, much to my glee, a Chinese ray, yellowish on the top side, a dainty pink on its belly, and armed with 3 stings behind its eyes, a rare species whose very existence is still doubted in La Pêche day, since that pioneering classifier of fish had seen only one in a portfolio of Japanese drawings. For 2 hours, a whole aquatic army escorted the Nautilus. In the midst of their leaping and cavorting while they competed with each other in beauty, radiance, and speed, I could distinguish some green wrasse, bewhiskered mullet marked with pairs of black lines, white gobies from the genus 𝘼𝙎𝙈, with curved caudal fins and violet spots on the back, wonderful Japanese mackerel from the genus 𝘼𝙬𝙈 with blue bodies and silver heads, glittering azure goldfish whose name by itself gives their full description, several varieties of porgy or gilthead, some banded gilthead with fins variously blue and yellow, some with horizontal heraldic bars and enhanced by black strips around their caudal area, some with color zones and elegantly corseted in their 6 waistbands, trumpetfish with flute-like beaks that looked like genuine seafaring woodcocks, were sometimes a meter long, Japanese salamanders, serpentine Murray eels from the genus Echidna that were 6 feet long with sharp little eyes and a huge bristling mouth with teeth, and etc. Our wonderment stayed at an all-time fever pitch. Our exclamations were endless. Ned identified the fish, Conseil classified them, and as for me, I was in ecstasy over the verve of these movements and the beauty of their forms. Never before have I been given the chance to glimpse these animals alive and at large in their native element. Given such a complete collection from the Sea of Japan and China, I won't mention every variety that passed before our dazzling eyes. More numerous than birds in the air, these fish raced right up to us, no doubt attracted by the brilliant glow of our electric beacon. Suddenly, daylight appeared in the lounge. These sheet iron panels slid shut. The magical vision disappeared. But for a good while, I kept dreaming away until the moment my eyes focused on the instruments hanging on the wall. The compasses still showed our heading is east-northeast, The pressure gauge indicated a pressure of 5 atmospheres, corresponding to a depth of 5 meters, and the electric log gave our speed as 15 miles per hour. I waited for Captain Nemo, but he didn't appear. The clock marked the hour of 5. Ned Land and Conseil returned to their cabin. As for me, I repaired to my stateroom. There, I found dinner ready for me. It consisted of turtle soup made from the daintiest hawksbill, a red mullet with white, slightly flaky flesh, whose liver then was prepared separately, that's what I should say. Makes delicious eating, plus loin of imperial anglefish, whose flavor struck me as even better than salmon. I spent the evening in readings, writing, and thinking. Then drowsiness overtook me. I stretched out my eelgrass mattress, and I fell into a deep slumber, while the Nautilus glided through the swiftly flowing black current. Dan Turns. Hi, Dan Turns. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you? How's your night? Welcome on in, raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukia. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. We are currently laying down on the floor on this cool spring evening, and I'm reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. How was stream? What were you doing? Rivals. You were playing with Lucky. How did it go? He's the definition of Wanderlust. He really is. The process is forever the natural beauty of the world. Humble brag is just an excuse to make another list. Honestly, so fair. So many lists. But how are you, Dan Turns? How was stream? And Kindu, welcome in. Autumn Love, welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Thank you so much for the follows. How's your night? Hi. Tara, have a good lurk. Get some good rest. Good night. Likes to list stuff. He does. He likes lists. Eyes are barely staying open. It's bedtime for me. Wonderful rest of your side stream. Talk to you tomorrow. Yes, have a good night, Tara. Thank you so much for hanging out. And thank you again so much for the throne gifts. I cannot wait for them to come in. Thank you. And the boy toy and harpooner kiss. Exactly. It's good. We're playing some custom games. Were you playing with friends? Or were you guys playing like just together? But Dan Turns, if you need to raid and run, I understand. How far actually is a fathom? If we're talking about like miles or meters, let's see. So a fathom is, so 1 fathom is 1.8 meters, and 1 fathom is not even a full mile. So if we switch them, so mile into a fathom, 1 mile is 880 fathoms. It's going good. It's very fun. Okay, yeah. Hi, Lost. Welcome in. But Dan Turns, if you need to raid and run, I understand. But if you would like to lurk and hang out, you're obviously more than welcome to. Just make sure to do your after stream care, eat food, drink wawa, take a shower because you're stinky Marvel Rivals gamer. It was with friends and other streamer friendos. I bet you guys had a blast. But thank you so much for the raid. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Lucky. How are you, lovely? Let me give you a shout out too. Guys, make sure you go follow Lucky. I've had the pleasure of playing some Rivals with them before. They are cracked at the game. They're so good at it. Excuse me. Check them out. Go say hi. They're lovely as well. I have no idea about miles. I use kilometers. Oh, okay. So if we say kilometers. Okay, so a fathom, so 1 kilometer is 548 fathoms. Does that make more sense? Really, he hates the Stinky Rivals gamer. Oh no, not the Stinky Rivals gamer. So stinky, but that's okay. We're still here for you. But thank you for coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the book. We are actually on chapter 15 now. If you guys would like to join us, here is the book, and down you can see over on my side right here, where my pillow is, you can see what chapter we're on. We are on chapter 15 now, and the chapter's title is An Invitation in Writing. There we go. If you guys would like to follow along, let me actually pin the book to the top of chat. And I will also drop this into YouTube for anyone that would like to follow along over on YouTube. I will put the book in chat if you want to follow with me. Well, if you'd like to, you do not have to, obviously. There is the book, and I will pin that just in case you'd like to read with us. And Kindu, thanks for the follow. Mars, hi Maro Mars. Welcome in. How are you? How was your stream? Welcome on in, Raiders. A sinking city. Oh my gosh, you're playing such a good game. Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome to Favorite Cafe. I'm Mukya. I'm a siren with a necrotic affliction, and I run a cafe. If you guys would like a drink, you can do tea, boba, coffee, hot cocoa. However, the cake is extra. How are you? Comfy ASMR friend. Of course. How are you, Maro? How was Sinking City? How did you like the game? How appropriate that you were playing Sinking City and I'm reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. How appropriate. Was that planned? Did you plan that? But welcome in. We have ads coming up in about another minute. So, Sigrid is amazing. You are? I am. And you see right here on to the left of me, sorry, to the right of me, I'm dyslexic. If you see to the right of me how it says the book, what we're reading and everything, and I am reading 20,000 Leagues. But we have ads starting just a minute. I'm going to do a quick BRB and go refresh my water. So I'm going to take this time for you guys to do a care package. So if you're at your desk, stand up, do some stretches. If you're laying down in bed, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. We're going to do a BRB, and we'll be right back, and we'll get back into some more story time. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Sorry I took so long, guys. I tried to scarf down a bit more of my salad for dinner and ended up choking on it a bit. We're okay. We're okay. Have a good lurk, Golden. I'll keep lurking here. Golden night. Good night, Golden. Rest well. Thank you so much for coming in. Scribbling down sound like a long-necked dinosaur. Hi, Crota. Welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Background ambiance and music. There's relaxing. Good. I'm glad you like it. Please eat responsibly. I will. Thank you for the headband. Sage. Hi, Sage. How you been? Welcome in. I'm glad you like it, Mania. Perfect. Thank you. Of course. Okay, I'm good. The bite sound I did? Like that? Give me tingles? Good. Juggling between gardening, independent research, and doing stuff in Unity. What kind of stuff are you working on in Unity? What are you working on? Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Alright, let's go ahead, let's settle in, and let's do chapter 15, an invitation in writing. Making assets and shaders for now. Ooh, that sounds really nice. Are the assets for yourself, or are you planning on using them to, like, sell on VGen for other people to use? But let's go ahead. Let's settle in. Ooh. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and then we'll get back into the story. Look. Hi, Shorn. The only thing we've really done is just changed our position. We have a dynamic position right now. Alright. That makes sense. Alright. Chapter 15. An invitation in writing. The next day, November 9th, I woke up only after a long 12-hour slumber. Conseil, a creature of habit, came to ask how Masta's night went and to offer his services. He had left his Canadian friend sleeping like a man who had never done anything else. I let the gallant lad babble as he pleased, without giving him much of the way of a reply. I was concerned about Captain Nemo's absence during our session the previous afternoon, and I hoped to see him again today. Soon, I had put on my clothes, which were woven from strands of seashell tissue. More than once, their composition provoked comments from Conseil. I informed him that they were made from the smooth, silken filaments with which that fan mussel, a type of seashell quite abundant among Mediterranean beaches, attached itself to rocks. In olden times, fine fabrics, stockings, and gloves were made from such filaments, because they were both very soft and very warm, so the Nautilus's crew could dress themselves at little cost, without needing a thing from cotton growers, sheep, or silkworms on shore. As soon as I was dressed, I made my way to the main lounge. It was deserted. Karnak! Hi, Karnak. Thank you so much for the resub. Enjoy those emotes, and as always, welcome to Fever Cafe. How are you, kitten? How's your night? It's total perfection. I'm glad. Hi. Fantastic. I'm doing good. What about you? Let me go ahead and add the kiss mark for you, Karnak. Let's see. If we go here, you would probably do hot pink. You kind of seem like a hot pink girly to me, Karnak. Even if you're not, I'm gonna do a hot pink forehead kiss. Right there. Perfect. There you go. Thank you so much for the resub. Thank you. I'm busy enjoying my emotes. Math and science story time. Yes. Oh. I dove into studying the conchological treasures amassed inside the glass cases. I also wait, hold on. As soon as I was dressed, I made my way to the main lounge. It was deserted. I dove into studying the conchological treasures amassed inside the glass cases. I also investigated the huge plant albums that were filled with the rarest marine herbs, which, although they were pressed and dried, still kept their wonderful colors. 𝙼𝙎𝙈𝙍, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Among these valuable water plants, I noted various seaweed, some Cladostophis verticalis, peacock's tails, fig-leafed Caulerpa, grain-bearing beauty bushes, delicate rose-tangle tinted scarlet, sea calendar arranged into fanned shapes, mermaid's cups that looked like caps of a squat mushroom, and for years had been classified among the zoophysts. In short, a complete series of algae. The entire day passed without my being honored by a visit from Captain Nemo. The panels in the lounge didn't open. Perhaps they didn't want us to get tired of these beautiful things. The Nautilus kept an east-northeasterly heading, a speed of 12 miles per hour, and a depth of 50 and 60 meters. The next day, November 10th, the same neglect, the same solitude. I didn't see a soul from the crew. Ned and Conseil spent the better part of the day with me. They were astonished at the captain's inexplicable absence. Was this eccentric man ill? Did he want to change his plans concerning us? But after all, as Conseil noted, we enjoyed complete freedom. We were daintily and abundantly fed. Our host had kept the terms of his agreement. We couldn't complain, and moreover, the very uniqueness of our situation had such generous rewards in store for us. We had no grounds for criticism. That day, I started my diary of these adventures, which has enabled me to narrate them with the most scrupulous accuracy. And one odd detail, I wrote on paper manufactured from marine eel glass. Early in the morning on November 11th, fresh air poured through the Nautilus's interior, informing me that we had returned to the surface of the ocean to renew our oxygen supply. I headed for the central companionway and climbed onto the platform. It was 6 o'clock. I found the weather overcast, the sea gray but calm, hardly a billow. I hoped to encounter Captain Nemo there. Would he come? I saw the helmsman imprisoned in his glass-windowed pilot house, seated on the ledge furnished by a hull of the skiff. I inhaled the sea's salty aroma with great pleasure. Little by little, the mists were dispersed under the action of the sun's rays. The radiant orb cleared the eastern horizon. Under its gaze, the sea caught on fire like a trail of gunpowder. Scattered on high, the clouds were colored in bright, wonderfully shaded hues. and numerous ladyfingers warmed a day-long wind. Ladyfingers are small, thin white clouds with ragged edges. But what were winds to this Nautilus which no storms could intimidate? So I was marveling at this delightful sunrise, so life-giving and cheerful, when I heard someone climbing onto the platform. I was prepared to greet Captain Nemo, but it was his chief officer who appeared, whom I had already met during a first visit with the captain. He advanced to the platform, not seeming to notice my presence, a powerful spyglass to his eye. He scrutinized every point of the horizon with utmost care. Then his examination was over. He approached the hatch and pronounced a phrase whose exact wording follows as below. I remember it because every morning it was repeated under the same circumstances. It ran like this: Notron Respok Lorin Verch. What it meant, I was unable to say. These words pronounced, the chief officer went below again. I thought the Nautilus was about to resume its underwater navigating, so I went down the hatch and back through the gangway to my stateroom. 5 days passed in this way with no change in our situation. Every morning I climbed to the platform. The same phrase was pronounced by the same individual. Captain Nemo did not appear. I was pursuing the policy that we had seen the last of him, when on November 16th, while re-entering my stateroom with Ned and Conseil, I found a note addressed to me on the table. I opened it impatiently. It was a writing in a script that was clear and neat, but a bit Old English in style. Its characters reminded me of German calligraphy. The note was worded as follows: Professor 𝙇𝙤𝙈, aboard the Nautilus, November 16th, 1867. Captain Nemo invites Professor 𝙇𝙈 on a hunting trip that will take place tomorrow morning in his Crespo Island forest. He hopes nothing will prevent the professor from attending, and he looks forward with pleasure from the professor's companions joining them. Captain Nemo, commander of the Nautilus. A hunting trip, Ned exclaimed. And in his forests on Crespo Island, Conseil added. But does this mean the old boy goes ashore? Ned Land went on. And that seems to be the gist of it. I reread the letter. Well, we've got to accept it, the Canadian answered. Once we're on solid ground, we'll figure out a course of action. Besides, it wouldn't pain me to eat a couple slices of fresh venison. Without trying to reconcile the contradictions between Captain Nemo's professed horror of continents or islands and his invitation to go hunting in a forest, I was content to reply. First, let's look into this Crespo Island. I consulted the world map, and in latitude 32 degrees, 40 north and longitude 167 degrees 50 south, I found an island that had been discovered in 1801 by Captain Crespo, which old Spanish charts called Roca de la Plata, in other words, Silver Rock. So we were about 1,800 miles from our starting point, and by a slight change of heading, the Nautilus was bringing us back towards the southeast. If I showed my companions this small stray rock in the middle of the North Pacific, gotta get for work later. Hopefully you'll be on tomorrow for some ear numbs. Have a good night, Vic. Thank you so much for coming on in. Rest well. I don't stream on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but I'll be back on Friday for some games. Have a good rest. Thank you again. Rest well. Doing okay for now. Thank you, vibing for now. Dealing with some stressful situations here and there. Testing stuff. Intense heat. But now it's calmed down. Flappy. Oh, that's good. As long as you're happy. Hi, Mooney. Welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Hi, Vera. Hi, Endless. How are you? How's your night? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good night. Please eat respectfully. Okay, nom nom. I showed my companions this small stray rock in the middle of the North Pacific. If Captain Nemo does something to go ashore, I told them, at least he only picks desert islands. Ned Land shook his head without replying. Then he and Conseil left me. After supper was served, me by the mute and emotionless steward, I fell asleep, but not without some anxieties. When I woke the next day, November 17th, I sensed that the Nautilus was completely motionless. I dressed hurriedly and entered the main lounge. Captain Nemo was there, waiting for me. He stood up, bowed, and asked if it suited me to come along. Since he made no allusion to his absence the past 8 days, I also refrained from mentioning it, and I simply answered that my companions and I were ready to go with him. Only, sir, I added, I'll take the liberty of addressing a question to you. Address away, Professor 𝙼𝙈, and if I'm able to answer, I will. Well then, Captain, how is it that you've severed all ties with the shore, yet you own a forest on Crespo Island? Professor, the captain answered me, these forests of mine don't bask in the heat of light of the sun. They aren't frequented by lions, tigers, panthers, or other quadrupeds. They are known only to me. They grow only for me. These forests aren't on land. They are actual underwater forests. Underwater forests, I exclaimed. Yes, Professor. And you're offering to take me to them? Precisely. On foot, without getting your feet wet. While hunting, rifles in hand. Rifles in hand. I stared at the Nautilus's commander with an air anything but flattering to the man. Assuredly, I said to myself, he's contracted some mental illness. He's had a fit that's lasted 8 days and isn't even over yet. What a shame. I liked him better eccentric than insane. These thoughts were clearly readable on my face, but Captain Nemo remained content with inviting me to follow him, and I did so like a man resigned to the worst. We arrived at the dining room, where we found breakfast served. Professor 𝙼𝙈, the captain told me, I beg you to share my breakfast without formality. We can chat while we eat because, although I promised a stroll by my forests, I make no pledge to arrange for your encountering a restaurant there. Accordingly, eat your breakfast like a man who will probably eat dinner only when it's extremely late. I did justice to this meal. It was made up of various fish and some slices of sea cucumber, that praiseworthy zoophyte, all garnished with such highly appetizing seaweed as the Porphyra laciniata and the Laurentia primifetida. Our beverages consisted of clear water, to which, following the captain's example, I added some drops of a fermented liquor extracted by the Kamchatka process, which seaweed known by the name of Rhodoventia palmata. Oh, I'm embarrassed that you keep reading it when you check up on YouTube. Reading it? Oh, eat responsibly. Good night. Good night, God Hunter. Rest well. Mwah. Hi, Ghost. Welcome in. How are you? How's your night? Thanks for the follow. Boo boo. Kizzy, I'm good, Void. Doing good so far. After taking people I'm working on clothes have decided on their brand name and what clothing they want to sell now. Work with one of them and send some funding so one of them can make clothing to start. Happy process is starting. Goes well. That sounds awesome. Ooh, that's exciting. Starting a whole new venture. We love that. Alright. Close your eyes. Tilt your head to the left if you're at your desk. And tilt your head to the right. Look up. And look down. Ooh, that's a good stretch for my neck. Sit up and drink some mama. If you're in bed, just take a deep breath through your nose and exhale through your mouth. All right. Let's keep reading. At first, Captain Nemo ate without producing a single word. Then, he told me, "Professor, when I proposed that you go hunting in my Crespo forests, you thought I was contradicting myself. When I informed you that it was an issue of underwater forests, you thought I'd gone insane. Professor, you must never make snap judgments about your fellow man. But Captain, believe me, kindly listen to me. You'll see if you have grounds for accusing me of insanity or self-contradiction. I'm all attention. Professor, you know as well as I do that a man can live underwater so long as he carries with him his own supply of breathable air. For underwater work projects, the workman wears a waterproof suit with his head imprisoned in a metal capsule, which he receives air from above by means of force pumps and flow regulators. That's the standard equipment for a diving suit, I said. Correct. But under such conditions, the man has no freedom. He's attached to a pump that sends him air through an India rubber hose. It's an actual chain that fetters him to the shore. And if we were to be bound by this way to the Nautilus, we couldn't go far either. Then how do you break free? I asked. Reuse the quadruple Denny-Rose device, invented by two of your fellow countrymen refined by me for my own special uses, thereby enabling you to risk these new philosophical conditions without suffering any organic disorders. It consists of a tank built from heavy sheet iron in which I store air under pressure of 50 atmospheres. This tank is fastened to the back by means of straps, like a soldier's knapsack. Its top forms a box where the air is regulated by a bellows mechanism and can be released only at its proper tension. In the device that has been in general use, two India rubber hoses leave this box and feed to a kind of tent that imprisons the operator's nose and mouth. One hose is for the entrance of air to be exhaled, the other for the exit of the air to be... One hose is for the entrance of the air to be inhaled, the other for the exit of the air to be exhaled, and the tongue closes off the former or the latter depending on the breather's needs. But in my case, since I face considerable pressure at the bottom of the sea, I need to close my head in a copper sphere, like those found on standard living suits, and these two hoses for inhalation and exhalation now feed into that sphere. That's perfect, Captain Nemo, but the air you carry must be quickly depleted, and once it contains no more than 15% oxygen, it becomes unfit for breathing. Surely, but as I told you, Professor 𝘼𝙈, the Nautilus's pumps enable me to store air under considerable pressure, and given this circumstance, the tank of my diving equipment can subtly breathe air for 9 or 10 hours. I've no more objections to raise, I replied. I'll only ask you, Captain, how can you like to weigh at the bottom of the ocean? With the Ruhmkorff device, Professor 𝘼𝙈. If the first is carried on the back, the second is fastened to the belt. It consists of a Bunsen battery that I activate not with potassium, but with sodium. An induction coil gathers the electricity generated and directs it to a specifically designed lantern. In this lantern, one finds a glass spiral that contains only a residue of carbon dioxide gas, When the device is operating, this gas becomes luminous and gives off a continuous whitish light, and thus provided for I breathe and see. Hi HK, welcome in, how are you? How's your night? Good, I'm glad you're well, you deserve it, thank you. Hi Thanatos, how are you? How's your night? Hope you're doing good. Oh. Ben, how dare you? You just come over and kiss me, that's crazy. How's your night, Ben? Hope you're doing good. Hi Ivan, how are you? How's your night? Siren, I owe you a care package. Alright guys, quick care package. Sit up at your desk. Tilt your head to the left. And tilt your head to the right. Look up. And look down. Sit up and drink some wawa. And Golden, you wanted a forehead kiss. And Fel, you wanted a forehead kiss. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm finding you. I'm good. We're reading 20,000 Leagues. Ow! Yes, Mania. Why are you bonking me? Why are you bonking me? Why? I wonder how much of this science ended up fiction and how much didn't. I mean, at the time that this was written, let's see. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was written in 1869 to 1870. Okay, so let's say 1870 is when it was released, right? Looks like 1750 English inventor John Lethbridge created one of the first fully enclosed, airtight, pressure-resistant suit designed for salvage work. So by the year 1834, the first U.S. patent for a practical diving suit was issued to Leonard Norcross. So before the book came out, there was a way for people to go diving. Think about it, we didn't have planes or anything like that back then. I mean, the first airplane, right, by the Wright brothers was in 1903, right? So it's only been 123 years since the very first, like, fully functioning airplane took off the ground, right? I guess was a present then. That's actually really cool. Right? Right. Of course, I'm glad it's a book time. I love stories. Me too. Book reading is my favorite. I love Tuesday night. I love doing ASMR for you guys. When we do the trigger nights on Mondays, when we do reading night with you guys, it's always been so much fun. But let me get back into the story, because we're very close to the end of chapter 15. Captain Nemo, to my every objection, you give such crushing answers, I'm afraid to entertain a single doubt. However, though I have no choice but to accept both the 𝙼𝙎 and 𝘼𝙎𝙈𝙍 devices. I'd like to register some reservations about the rifle with which you will equip me. But it isn't a rifle that uses gunpowder, the captain replied. Then it's an air gun, surely. How can I make gunpowder on my ship when I have no saltpeter, sulfur, or charcoal? Even so, I replied, to fire underwater in a medium that is 855 times denser than air, you'd have to overcome considerable resistance. And that doesn't necessarily follow. There are certain Fulton-style guns perfected by the English Philip Coles and Burley, the Frenchman Fercy, and the Italian Landi. They're equipped with a special system of airtight fastenings and can fire in underwater conditions. But I repeat, I have no gunpowder. I've replaced it with air at high pressure, which is abundantly supplied by the Nautilus's pumps. But this air must be swiftly depleted. Well, in a pinch, can't my Rockwell tank supply me with more? All I have to do is draw it from an ad hoc spigot. Besides, Professor Onwa, you'll see for yourself that during these underwater hunting trips we make no great expenditure of either air or bullets. But it seems to me that in this semi-darkness, amid this liquid that's so dense in comparison to the atmosphere, a gunshot couldn't carry far and would prove fatal only with difficulty. On the contrary, sir, with this rifle every shot is fatal, and as soon as the animal is hit, no matter how lightly it falls as is struck by lightning. Why? Because this rifle doesn't shoot ordinary bullets, but little glass capsules invented by the Austrian chemist Lindenbrock, and I have a considerable supply of them. These glass capsules are covered with a strip of steel and weighted with a lead base. They're genuine little Leyden jars charged with high voltage electricity. They go off at the slightest impact, and the animal, no matter how strong, drops dead. I might add that these capsules are no bigger than number 4 shot, and the chamber of an ordinary rifle could hold 10 of them. I'll quit debating, I replied, getting up from the table. And all that's left is for me to shoulder my rifle. So, where you go, I'll go. Captain Nemo led me to the Nautilus's stern and passed by Ned and Conseil's cabin. I summoned my 2 companions, who instantly followed us. Then we arrived at a cell located within easy access of the engine room. In this cell, we were to get dressed for our stroll. We are now in chapter 16. Strolling the plains. Alright. Maple! Hi, lovely. Have a good lurk. Thank you so much. I think it's cool. Sometimes they probably couldn't even imagine. Right? So I guess there's a precedent then. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Michael. Nothing beats a good evening than a comfy read. Honestly, I agree. I agree. Okay. We are on chapter 16. Alright. This chapter 16, Strolling the Plains. This cell, properly speaking, was the Nautilus's arsenal and wardrobe. Hanging from its walls, a dozen diving outfits were waiting for anybody who waited to take a stroll. After seeing these, Ned Land exhibited an obvious distaste for the idea of putting one on. But gallant Ned, I told him, the forests of Crespo Island are simply underwater forests. Oh, great, put in the disappointed harpooner, watching his dreams of fresh meat fade away. And you, Professor Arnois, are you going to stick yourself inside these clothes? It has to be, Mr. Ned. Have it your way, sir, the harpooner replied, shrugging his shoulders, but, speaking for myself, I'll never get into those things unless they force me. No one is forcing you, Mr. Land, Captain Nemo said. And is Conseil going to risk it? Ned asked. Where master goes, I go, Conseil replied. At the captain's summons, 2 crewmen came to help us put on these heavy, waterproof clothes made from seamless Indian rubber and expressly designed to bear considerable pressures. They were like suits of armor that were both yielding and resistant, you might say. These clothes consisted of jacket and pants. The pants ended in bulky footwear adorned with heavy leaded shoes. The fabric of the jacket was reinforced with copper mail that shielded the chest, protected it from the water's pressures, and allowed the lungs to function freely. The sleeves ended in supple gloves that didn't impede hand movements. These perfected diving suits. It was easy to see, were a far cry from the misshapen costumes as the cork breastplates, leather jumpers, seagoing tunics, barrel helmets, etc., invented and claimed in the 18th century. Conseil and I were soon dressed in these diving suits, as were Captain Nemo and one of his companions, a Herculean type who must have been prodigiously strong. All that remained was to encase one's head in its metal sphere. But before proceeding with this operation, I asked the captain for permission to examine the rifles set aside for us. One of Nautilus's men presented me with a streamlined rifle whose butt was boilerplate steel, hollow inside, and of fairly large dimensions. This served as a tank for the compressed air, which a trigger-operated valve could release into a metal chamber. In a groove where the butt was heaviest, a cartridge clip held some 20 electric bullets that, by means of a spring, automatically took their place at the barrel of the rifle. As soon as one shot had been fired, another was ready to go off. Captain Nemo, I said, this is an ideal, easy-to-use weapon. I ask only to put it to the test, but how will we reach the bottom of the sea? Right now, Professor, the Nautilus is aground in 10 meters of water, and we've only to depart. But how will we set out? You'll see. Captain Nemo inserted his cranium into the spherical headgear. Conseil and I did the same, but not without hearing the Canadian toss a sarcastic, happy hunting. On top, the suit ended in a collar of threaded copper onto which the metal helmet was screwed. 3 holes protected by heavy glass allowed us to see in any direction with simply a turn of the head from inside the sphere. Placed in our backs, the Rockwell device went into operation as soon as it was in position. As for my part, I could breathe with ease. The Rookmuff lamp hung from my belt. My rifle in hand, I was ready to go forth. But in all honesty, while imprisoned in these heavy clothes and nailed to the deck by my lead soles, it was impossible for me to take a single step. But this circumstance had been foreseen, because I felt myself propelled into a little room adjoining the wardrobe. Towed by the same way, my companions went with me. I heard a door with watertight seals close after us, and we were surrounded by profound darkness. After some minutes, a sharp hissing reached my ears. I felt a distinct sensation of cold rising from my feet to my chest. Apparently, a stopcock inside the boat was letting in water from outside, which overran us and soon filled up the room. Contrived in the Nautilus's side, a second door was opened. We were lit by a subdued light. An instant later, our feet were treading the bottom of the sea. And now, how could I convey the impressions left on me by this stroll under the water? Words are powerless to describe such wonders. When even the painter's brush can't depict the effects unique to the liquid element, how can the writer's pen hope to reproduce them? Captain Nemo walked in front, and his companion followed us only a few steps to the rear. Conseil and I stayed next to each other, as if daydreaming that, though through our metal carapaces, a little polite conversation might still be possible. Already, I no longer felt the bulkiness of my clothes, footwear, and air tank, nor the weight of the heavy sphere inside which my head was rattling like an almond in its shell. Once immersed in water, all these objects lost a part of their weight equal to the weight of the liquid they displaced, and thanks to this law of physics discovered by Archimedes, I did just fine. I was no longer an inert mass, and I, comparatively speaking, great freedom of movement. Lighting up the seafloor even 30 feet beneath the surface of the ocean, the sun astonished me with its power. The solar rays easily crossed this aqueous mass and dispersed its dark colors. I could easily distinguish objects 100 meters away. Further on, the bottom was tinted with fine shades of ultramarine. Then, off in the distance, it turned blue and faded in the mist of hazy darkness. Truly, this water surrounding me was just kind of air, denser than the atmosphere on land, but almost as transparent. Above me, I could see the calm surface of the ocean. We were walking on sand that was fine-grained and smooth, not wrinkled like beach sand, which preserves the impressions left by the waves. This dazzling carpet was a real mirror, throwing back the sun's rays with startling intensity. The outcome, an immense vista of reflections that penetrated every liquid molecule. Will anyone believe me if I assert that at this 30-foot depth I could see as if it was broad daylight? For a quarter of an hour I trod this blazing sand, which was strewn with tiny crumbs of seashell, looming like a long reef. The Nautilus's hull disappeared little by little. But when night fell in the midst of the waters, the ship's beacon would surely facilitate a return to board, since its rays carried with perfect distinctness. This effect is difficult to understand for anyone who has never seen light beams so sharply defined on shore. There, the dust that saturates the air gives such rays the appearance of a luminous fog. But above water as well as underwater, shafts of electric light were transmitted with incomparable clarity. Meanwhile, we went ever onward, and these vast plains of sand seemed endless. My hands parted liquid curtains that closed again behind me, and my footprints faded swiftly under the water's pressure. Soon, scarcely blurred by the distance from us, the forms of some objects took shape before my eyes. I recognized the lower slopes of some magnificent rocks carpeted by the first zoophyte specimens, and right off I was struck by an effect unique to this medium. By then, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun's rays hit the surface of the waves at a fairly oblique angle, decomposing by refraction as though passing through a prism. And when this light came in contact with flowers, rocks, buds, seashells, and polyps, the edges of these objects were shaded with all 7 hues of the solar spectrum. This riot of rainbow tints was a wonder, a feast for the eyes, a genuine kaleidoscope of red, green, yellow, orange, violet, indigo, and blue. In short, the whole palette of color. Happier painter. If only I had been able to share with Conseil the intense sensations rising in my brain, competing with him in exclamations of wonderment. If only I had known, like Captain Nemo and his companion, how to exchange thoughts by means of pre-arranged signals. So, for lack of anything better, I talked to myself. I declaimed inside this copper box that topped my head, sending more air on empty words than was perhaps advisable. Conseil, like me, had stopped before this splendid sight. Obviously, in the presence of these zoophyte and mollusk specimens, a fine lad was classifying his head off. Polyps and echinoderms abound the seafloor, various isis coral, cornolium coral living in isolation, tufts of virginal genus Ocalinda, formerly known by the name white coral, prickly fungus coral in the shape of mushrooms, sea anemone holding on by their muscular discs, providing a literal flower bed adorned by jellyfish from the genus Propecia, wearing collars of azure tentacles, and starfish that spangled the sand, including vein-like feather stars from the genus Astrophytian that were like fine lace embroidered by the hands of water nymphs. Their festons swayed to the faint undulations caused by our walking. Fuck! Hi, Doggo. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome to your favorite cafe. I'm Mukia, and we're laying down on the floor tonight on this fine spring evening, where the air is crisp and cool, but we're cozying inside with a blanket, a book, and our pillows. How was stream, Doggo? Send everyone for a lovely story time. Doing well, we're good. How was your stream? Everybody got nice and cozy with Doggo. Make sure you guys follow them. They're very, very sweet. They're so cute. So hopefully you guys check them out. Hi, Baru Baru. Welcome in. How are you? Hi, Rin. How's your night? Welcome in, welcome in. We have ads starting in about a minute. Another Prime. Hi, Hoshino. How are you? But welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome in, welcome in. Doggo, if you need to raid and run, I understand. But if you'd like to lurk and hang out, we are reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And the book is pinned to the top of chat. Otherwise, you can do !book and you can get the link that way. We are on chapter 16. And it looks like the professor and his butler Conseil are going on a underwater adventure into the depths of the ocean with Captain Nemo. But we have ads coming in about 3 seconds, so I'll be taking a quick break while that's going on. We're going to go ahead and refill my water, and we'll be right back. We'll continue the story as soon as the ads are over. I think Falco headed out to eat or something. Oh, okay. Hopefully he's eating something tasty. But we're gonna do a quick BRB, and we're gonna I'm off to bed. Good night, Nix. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out, and for the gifted subs earlier. Mwah. Have a good rest. Thank you. Good night. Lovely. Quick BRB, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Don't think this missed your first message. No, I did see that you said you were gonna go get food. But welcome back, welcome back. Let's go ahead and let's switch back. And we're gonna do some more reading. But have a good food break, doggo. Have a good night, Mesa. Ned is being very petty, far from his title of Gallant Ned, right? He's being such a petty brat. It makes me just want to act up, honestly. When people brat around me, it just really makes me want to act up. Hi, Tav. Welcome in, Tav. Welcome back, welcome back. I'll write some poems as I lurk. Enjoy your lurk. Hi, Viking. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. Let's settle in. Kanto. Thank you for the daily coffee order, JTab and Kento. Kento. Let's see. It filled me with real jargon to crush underfoot the gleaming mollusk samples that littered the seafloor by the thousands. Concentric comb shells, hammer shells, coquina seashells that actually hop around, top shell snails, red helmet shells, anglewing conches, sea hares, and so many others. And so many other exhibits from this inexhaustible ocean. But we had to keep walking, and we went forward, while overhead there scubbed schools of Portuguese men of war that let their ultramarine tentacles drift in their wakes, medusas whose milky white or dainty pink parasols were festooned with azure tassels, and shaded us from the sun's rays, plus jellyfish of the species Pelagia, Panopyra, that and the dark would have strewn our path with phosphorant glimmers. All these wonders I glimpsed in the space of a quarter of a mile, barely pausing, following Captain Nemo, whose gestures kept beckoning me onward. Soon the nature of the seafloor changed. The plains of sand were followed by a bed of that viscous slime Americans call ooze, which is composed exclusively of seashells rich in limestone or cilia. Then we crossed a prairie of algae, open sea plants that the waters hadn't yet torn loose. Whose vegetation grew in wild profusion. Soft to the foot, these densely textured lawns could have rivaled the most luxuriant carpets woven by the hand of man. But while this greenery was sprawling under our steps, it didn't neglect us overhead. The surface of the water was crisscrossed by floating arbor of marine plants, belonging to that superabundant algae family that numbers more than 2,000 known species. I saw long ribbons of fucus drifting above me, some globular, others tubular. Laurentia cladostyphus, with the slenderest foliage, Rhydomenia palmata resembling the fan shapes of cactus. I observed that green-colored plant kept closer to the surface of the sea, while reds occupied a medium depth, which left blacks and browns in charge of designing gardens of flower beds in the ocean's lower strata. These algae are a genuine prodigy of creation, one of the wonders of world flora. This family produces both the biggest and smallest vegetables in the world, because just as 40,000 near invisible buds have been counted in one 5 square mile space, It also so also have fucus plants been gathered that were over 500 meters long. We have been gone from the Nautilus for about an hour and a half. It was almost noon. I spotted this fact in the perpetually of the sun's rays, which were no longer refracted. The magic of these solar colors disappeared little by little, with emerald and sapphire shades vanishing from our surroundings altogether. We walked with steady steps that rang on the seafloor with astonishing intensity. The tiniest sounds were transmitted with a speed to which the ear was unaccustomed on shore. In fact, water is a better conductor of sound than air, and under the waves, noise carry 4 times as fast. Good night, Ivan. Have a good rest. Mwah. Rest well. Hi, Liquid. Welcome in. Hi. I read it when I was a kid, but it really made me love biology. So stimulating for your imagination. It's pretty good. I do like it. The lists are kind of getting to me. You're just like another list. Have a good lurk, Endless. The famous book by Julio Verne? Yes, Jules Verne. We're doing 20,000 Leagues. Swizzik, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome in. How are you? Hi, Viking. Just then, the seafloor began to slope downward. The light took on a unique hue. We reached a depth of 100 meters, by which point we were undergoing a pressure of 10 atmospheres. But my diving clothes were built along such lines that I never suffered from this pressure. I felt only a certain tightness in the joints of my fingers, and even this discomfort soon disappeared. As for the exhaustion bound to accompany a 2-hour stroll in such unfamiliar trappings, it was nil. Helped by the water, my movements were executed with startling ease. Arriving at this 300-foot depth, I still detected the sun's rays, but just barely. Their intense brilliance had been followed by a reddish twilight, a midpoint between day and night. But we could see well enough to find our way, and it still wasn't necessary to activate the Rookcroft device. Just then, Captain Nemo stopped. He waited until I joined them. Then, he pointed a finger at some dark masses outlined in the shadows, a short distance away. It's the forest of Crespo Island, I thought, and I was not mistaken. Alright. Gotta get stuff done this morning. Hopefully the stuff goes well, Viking. Thank you so much. Hoshino Prime, thanks so much for the follow, Sweetling. Hopefully you're having a good time hanging out. We are on chapter 17. And the chapter is called An Underwater Forest. Okay, we finished the chapter. We're going to do a quick stretch. Oh, stretch your arms upwards. Ooh. And drink some water. Have a good night, Tattle. Rest well. Thank you again so much for coming in and hanging out. Good night, good night. Good night. I'm going to put a little chapstick on, and then we'll continue the next story, the next chapter. And as usual, if you guys look at the top right of the monitor up here on your screens, if we reach that full goal of 10 total gifted subs today, then I will read a love poem at the end of the night. We've done a couple different love poems, and one was very spicy, and another one was really, really cute. We also did Annabelle Lee. which was one of my favorites. I am actually going to change my hair color. There it is. Ooh, white and green. Perfect. I like it. Reading is such a nice activity. It shouldn't just. I love reading to people. I like reading. I like books. One of my favorite authors right now is 𝙬𝙬. I've been reading it for the last couple nights, and it is really good. I really, really like it. Another book series that they actually made a movie of it is called Mortal Engines. Oh, good stories too. If you guys enjoy reading, I highly recommend those. Those are good reads. Really, really good reads. If you like reading, anyways. If you're not much a reader, then, I mean, that's different entirely. Alright. Let's settle in and let us do some more. Let's start chapter 17. Wrote them down. They're good. Sheen on the Silk. I think that's what it's called. Hold on, let me look at the title. It's right behind me on my bed. Yes, it's called The Sheen on the Silk, and then the other one is called Mortal Engines. Very good reads. Highly recommend. Mortal Engines has a second book. So make sure if you're gonna get it, try and get both. How's it going hanging out? Hi Shizu! Welcome in, how are you? How's your night? You're blue. Dubbity. I'm technically like white and green. I have white and green. But how are you, Shizu? How's your night? We are currently laying down on the floor on this cool spring evening, and we are reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. If you'd like to join us, the book is pinned to the top of chat. Otherwise, you can do !book and get the link that way. I did a group presentation, 10% off grade, hoping I did okay. You did great, I believe in you. Because you are amazing and very smart. And I believe in you. I believe you did super, super amazing, awesome. Hello, hello. Hi, hi, yeah. Alright. Let me adjust my chair. And let's get into chapter 17. An Underwater Forest. Boy Ned freaking Land. Yes. He chose, Shizu, your boy chose to not go on this adventure into the underwater forest. He said no. I was like, boy, what are you doing? How could you say no? And he said no. So here we are. Alright, chapter 17, An Underwater Forest. We had finally arrived on the outskirts of this forest, surely one of the finest in Captain Nemo's immense domains. He regarded it as his own, and had laid the same claim to it that, in the first days of the world, the first men had their forests on land. Besides, who else could dispute his ownership of this underwater property? What other bolder pioneer would come, axe in hand, to clear away its dark underbrush? Ionokuchi? Am I saying her name correctly? Ionokuchi. Welcome in. How are you, sweetling? He followed his basal instincts of, nuh-uh. I guess that's fair. This forest was made up of big tree-like plants and when we entered beneath their huge arches, my eyes were instantly struck by the unique arrangement of their branches, an arrangement that I had never before encountered. None of the weeds carpeted the seafloor. None of the branches bristling from the shrubbery crept or leaned or stretched on a horizontal plane. They all rose right up towards the surface of the ocean. Every filament or ribbon, no matter how thin, stood ramrod straight. Fucus plants and creepers were growing in stiff perpendicular lines, governed by the density of the element that generated them. After I parted them with my hand, these otherwise motionless plants would shoot right back to their original positions. It was the regime of verticality. I soon grew accustomed to this bizarre arrangements, likewise the comparative darkness surrounding us. The seafloor in this forest was strewn with sharp chunks of stone that were hard to avoid. Here, the range of underwater flora seemed pretty comprehensive to me, as well as more abundant than it had been in the Arctic or tropical zones, where such exhibits are less common. But for a few minutes, I was accidentally confusing the two kingdoms, mistaking zoophytes for water plants, animals for vegetables, and who hadn't made the same blunder? Flora and fauna are so closely associated in the underwater world. I observed that these exhibits from the vegetable kingdom were attached to the seafloor by only the most makeshift methods. They had no roots and didn't care which solid object secured them: sand, shell, husks, or pebbles. They didn't ask their hosts for sustenance, just a point of purchase. These plants were entirely self-propagating, and the principles of their existence lies in the water that sustains and nourishes them. In place of leaves, most of them sprouted blades of unpredictable shapes, which were confronted by a narrow gamut of colors, consisting only of pink, crimson, green, olive, tan, and brown. There I saw again, but not yet pressed like dried like the Nautilus's specimens, some peacock's tails spread open like fans to stir up a cooling breeze. Scarlet rose tangle, seed tangles stretching out their young and edible shoots, twisting strings of kelp from the genus Neurocysts that bloomed to a height of 15 meters, bouquets of mermaids' cups whose strewn stems grew whiter at the top, and a number of other open sea plants, all without flowers. It's an odd anomaly in this bizarre element, as one witty naturalist puts it. The animal kingdom blossoms and the vegetable kingdom doesn't. These various types of shrubbery were as big as trees in the temperature zones. In the damp shade between them, there were clustered actual bushes of moving flowers, hedges of zoophytes in which there grew stony coral stripes with twisting furrows, yellowish sea anemone from the genus Caryophylla with translucent tentacles, plus anemones with grassy tufts from the genus Zoantharia. And to complete the illusion, minnows fitted from branch to branch like a swarm of hummingbirds, while there rose underfoot, like a covey of snipe, yellow fish from the genus Lepisconthus, with bristling jaws and sharp scales, flying gurnards, and pinecone fish. Hi, Aya. I'm doing good. Love the reading stream. Tend to fall asleep in the stream all the time. I hope you do get some good rest. If you need to lay down, you're more than welcome to use my shoulder, my lap. You can take one of the pillows here if you'd like. I also have a green pillow, just a little bit more up. If you reach over, you can grab one. Sharps and scales, even in books. You can't. You are forever haunted by music. What if Land didn't want to go because he couldn't show off his muscles hidden by the diving suit? That's true. Maybe he just didn't want to, flex on some guys. Find what is storytelling, world building. It's gotten really good now that we're able to get into the storytelling of it. I completely agree. Near 1 o'clock, Captain Nemo gave the signal to halt. Speaking for myself, I was glad to oblige, and we stretched out beneath the arbor of winged kelp. Those long, thin tendrils stood up like arrows. This short break was a delight. It lacked only the charm of conversation, but it was impossible to speak, impossible to reply. I simply nudged my big copper headpiece against Conseil's headpiece. I saw a happy gleam in the gallant lad's eyes, and to communicate his pleasure, he jiggled around inside his carapace in the world's silliest way. Meaning he basically did this. After 4 hours of strolling, I was quite astonished not to feel any immense hunger. What kept my stomach in such a good mood, I was unable to say, but in exchange, I experienced that irresistible desire for sleep that comes over every diver. Accordingly, my eyes soon closed behind their heavy glass windows, and I fell into an uncontrollable doze, which, until I had been able to fight off only through the movements of our walking. Captain Nemo and his muscular companion were already stretched out in this clear crystal setting, setting us in a fine nap time example. How long I was sunk in this torpor, I cannot estimate, but when I awoke, it seemed as if the sun were settling towards the horizon. Captain Nemo was already up, and I had started to stretch my limbs when an unexpected apparition brought me sharply to my feet. A few paces away, a monstrous, meter-high sea spider was staring at me with beady eyes, poised to spring at me. Although my diving suit was heavy enough to protect me from this animal's bites, I couldn't keep back a shudder of horror. Just then, Conseil woke up, together with the Nautilus's sailor. Captain Nemo alerted his companion to this hideous crustacean, which a swing of the rifle butt quickly brought it down, and I watched the monster's horrible legs writhe in dreadful convulsions. This encounter reminded me that other, more daunting animals must be lurking in these dark reaches, and my diving suit might not be adequate protection against their attacks. Such thoughts hadn't previously crossed my mind, and I was determined to keep on my guard. Meanwhile, I had assumed this rest period would be a turning point of our stroll, but I was mistaken. Instead of heading back to the Nautilus, Captain Nemo continued his daring excursions. The seafloor kept sinking, and its significantly steeper slope took us to greater depths. It must have been nearly 3 o'clock when we reached a narrow valley gouged between high vertical walls and located 150 meters down. Thanks to the perfection of our equipment, we had thus gone 90 meters below the limit that nature had, until then, set on man's underwater excursions. I say 150 meters, although I had no instruments for estimating this distance, but I knew that the sun's rays, even in the clearest seas, could reach no deeper. So at precisely this point, the darkness became so profound. Not a single object was visible past 10 paces. Consequently, I had begun to grope my way when suddenly I saw a glow of an immense white light. Captain Nemo had just activated his electric device. His companion did likewise. Conseil and I followed suit. By turning the switch, I established contact between the induction coil and the glass spiral, and the sea lit up by our 4 lanterns, was illuminated for a radius of 25 meters. Bogor. Hi, Bogor. What kind of Bogor are you? Are you a cheeseburger? Like a Swiss mushroom with oregano bun. Oh, that sounds so good. Captain Nemo is such an interesting character. A fun fact that he appears in another book by Vern. Does he? Which book? Hayura. Stepping in a diving suit sounds like it'd be very dangerous. And these type of diving suits, yes. But imagine being able to just like be in a really big like set of clothes, right? Where you're not like super constrained. And you know, because what you're wearing is keeping you from like moving with the water, you could literally just close your eyes and go to sleep. Wouldn't you want to? That'd be so cozy. It's the mysterious island. Oh, that sounds like a good book. I'd read that one. Okay. But yes, sleeping in a diving suit would be dangerous without precautions. Captain Nemo continued to plummet into the dark depths of this forest, whose shrubbery grew ever more sparse. I observed that vegetable life was disappearing more quickly than animal life. The open sea plants had already left behind the increasingly arid seafloor, where the prodigious number of animals were still swarming. Zoophytes, articulates, mollusks, and fish. While we were walking, I thought the lights of our Rookmoff devices would automatically attract some inhabitants of these dark strata. But if they did not approach us, at least they kept a distance regrettable from the hunter's standpoint. Several times I saw Captain Nemo stop while taking aim at his rifle. Then, after sighting down its barrel for a few seconds, he would straighten up and resume his walk. Finally, at around 4 o'clock, this marvelous excursion came to an end. A wall of superb rocks stood before us, imposing in its sheer mass, a pile of gigantic stone blocks, an enormous granite cliffside pitted with dark caves, but not offering a single gradient we could climb up. This was the underpinning of Crespo Island. This was land. The captain stopped suddenly. A gesture from him brought us to a halt, and however much I wanted to clear this wall, I had to stop. Here ended the domains of Captain Nemo. He had no desire to pass beyond them. Further on lay a part of the globe he would no longer tread underfoot. Our return began. Captain Nemo resumed the lead of our little band, always heading forward without hesitation. I noted that we didn't follow the same path in returning to the Nautilus. This new route, very steep and hence very arduous, quickly took us close to the surface of the sea. But this return to the upper strata wasn't so sudden that decompression took place too quickly, which could have led to serious organic disorders and given us those internal injuries so fatal to divers. With great promptness, the light reappeared and grew stronger, and the refraction of the sun, already low on the horizon, again ringed the edges of various objects with the entire color spectrum. At the depth of 10 meters, we walked amid a swarm of small fish from every species, more numerous than birds in the air, more agile too, but no aquatic game worthy of a gunshot had yet been offered to our eyes. Just then, I saw the captain's weapon spring to his shoulder. Just then I saw the captain's weapon spring to his shoulder and track a moving object through the bushes. A shot went off. I heard a faint hissing, and an animal dropped a few paces away, literally struck by lightning. It was a magnificent sea otter. No! Not a sea. No! I love sea otters. They're so cute. Why would you do that to a sea puppy? Hi, Bacon Snuggle. Come in. It's so sad. Right? Oh. I know it's fake. It's fake. I know no sea otters were hurt during the writing of this book, but oh my god, that's really sad. Okay. It was a magnificent sea otter from the genus 𝙼𝙎𝙈, the only exclusive marine quadruped. 1.5 meters long, this otter had to be worthy of a good high price. Its coat, chestnut brown above and silver below, would have made one of those wonderful fur pieces so much in demand in the Russia and Chinese markets. The fineness and luster of its pelt guaranteed that it would go for at least 2,000 francs. It was full of wonderment, and this unusual mammal, with its circular head adorned by short ears, its round eyes, its white whiskers like those on a cat, its webbed and clawed feet, its bushy tail. Hunted and trapped by fishermen, this valuable carnivore has become extremely rare, and it takes refuge chiefly in the northernmost parts of the Pacific, where in all likelihood its species will soon be facing extinction. Captain Nemo's companion picked up the animal, loaded it on his shoulder, and we took the trail again. For an hour, plains of sand unrolled before our step. Hi, 𝙇𝙤𝙈, welcome back. Hi. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you? Sea otters are cute. I like seals better, but still. I mean, I think seals are adorable too. Sea otters and seals are super cute. It's just really sad. For an hour, plains of sand unrolled before our steps. Often the seafloor rose to within 2 meters of the surface of the water. I could then see our images clearly mirrored on the underside of the waves, but reflected upside down. Above us, there appeared an identical band that duplicated our every movement and gesture. In short, a perfect likeness of the quartet near which it walked, but with heads down and feet in the air. Another unusual effect: heavy clouds passed above us, forming and fading swiftly, but after thinking it over, I realized that these so-called clouds were caused simply by the changing densities of the long ground swells, and I even spotted a forming white caps that their breaking crests were proliferating over the surface of the water. Lastly, I couldn't help seeing the actual shadows of large birds passing over our heads, swiftly skimming the surface of the sea. On this occasion, I witnessed one of the finest gunshots ever to thrill the marrow of a hunter. A large bird with a wide wingspan, quite nearly visible, approached and hovered over us. When it was just a few meters above the waves, Captain Nemo's companion took aim and fired. The animal dropped, electrocuted, and its descent brought it within reach of our ardent hunter, who promptly took possession of it. It was an albatross of the finest species, a wonderful specimen of these open sea fowl. This incident did not interrupt our walk. For 2 hours we were sometimes led over plains of sand, sometimes over prairies of seaweed that were quite arduous to cross. In all honesty, I was dead tired by the time I spotted a hazy glow half a mile away cutting through the darkness of the waters. It was the Nautilus's beacon. Within 20 minutes, we would be on board, but there I could breathe easily again, because my tank's current air supply seemed to be quite low in oxygen. But I was reckoning without an encounter that slightly delayed our arrival. There we go. I was lagging behind some 20 paces when I saw Captain Nemo suddenly come back towards me. With his powerful hands, he sent me buckling to the ground, while his companion did the same to Conseil. At first, I didn't know what to make of this sudden assault, but I was reassured to observe the captain lying motionless beside me. I was stretched out on the seafloor directly beneath some bushes of algae when I raised my head and spied two enormous masses hurtling by, throwing off phosphorescent glimmers. My blood turned cold in my veins. I saw that we were under threat from some fearsome pair of sharks. They were blue sharks, dreadful man-eaters with enormous tails, dull, glassy stares, phosphorescent matter oozing from holes around their mouths. They were like monstrous fireflies that could thoroughly pulverize a man with their iron jaws. I don't know if Conseil was busy with their classification, but as for me, I looked at their silver bellies, their fearsome mouths bristling with teeth from a viewpoint less than scientific, more as a victim than as a professor of natural history. Luckily, these voracious animals have poor eyesight. They went by without noticing us, grazing us with their brownish fins, and miraculously, we escaped danger greater than encountering a tiger deep in the jungle. Half an hour later, guided by this electric trail, we reached the Nautilus. The outside door had been left open, and Captain Nemo closed it after we re-entered the first cell. Then he pressed a button. I heard pumps operating within the ship. I felt the water lowering around me, and in a few moments, the cell was completely empty. The inside door opened, and we passed into the wardrobe. There, our diving suits were removed, not without difficulty, and utterly exhausted, faint from lack of food and rest. I repaired to my stateroom, full of wonder at this startling excursion on the bottom of the sea. Hi, Cozart. Not an albatross. Killing a seabird is bad luck, especially an albatross. Yes. Have you seen the videos of sea otters holding hands to stay together during rough waters? I have. They are so cute. And then the fact that he just murdered one. Murder. It was cute. Wow. Wow. 18. We're on chapter 18. Oh. 4,000 leagues under the Pacific. Let me move this here. There you go. That is the chapter that we are on. We will be ending the story time here for the night. All right. That's where we'll end for the night with the book. Aww. I'm glad you had fun. I really, really like reading to you guys. Like I said, it is cozy to me. It is fun to me. I really, really enjoy the book so far. It's actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Oh wait, hold on. There you go. when we first started reading 20,000 Leagues, it was a lot of lists and descriptions of like this and so genus and this and so genus, and I'm just like, okay, I get it. Everything is gonna be done this way. Good progress is made. We were on chapter 18 now, so we did 14, 15, 16, and 17. We did 4 chapters tonight. That's a lot of chapters. It really is fun. The biology terms, I can picture yourself down there. Right, you can, because you can, when he describes the way everything looks, that I will give that to Jules Verne. He's very good at describing the way the underwater area that he looks, right? There's a lot of blues, and then you can see the light, how it would fade through the water, and that the way the sand is like so soft. And then when you're walking, sometimes when you're walking you can hear your footsteps, but it's very like soft. But underwater the sound reaches you and it's louder, so you can hear the dum 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 while you're on the sand. Oh, it's so nice. The port's Conseil and Ned Land bonding over the naming and categorizing of fishies, right? Because Ned is like, that's a blah blah blah, and then Conseil is like, of the genus blah blah blah, in which there's blah 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 classifications. I love it. It was so cute. It was so cutie. Because he's so passionate. Exactly, he's very passionate. If you take away a lot of the times where the writer had the characters going a bit too far into like the genus and the classifications, the book is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. We technically have about 15 more minutes before we end stream. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna kind of chill and hang out like this. And then over here, I'll call that one Bob. I mean, okay, but that's my favorite thing to do, right? When I'm playing a game like Minecraft and you get to capture the fish, I like to build a tank to put the fishies in, and then I like to name the fishies. And then I give them names after you guys. Hi, succubus. Want to stop and say thank you for referring to me, that website that read books for my own stream. Yeah, I've been reading Pride and Prejudice. Oh, yes, I love Pride and Prejudice. It's one of my favorites. Midsummer Night's Dream. Have fun with it. I love literally 2 of my favorite books. It has helped me improve my reading skills for voice acting. My dream job. Thank you for helping me get closer to that. Of course. Oh my gosh, Gutenberg is one of my favorite places to Beck is fine while being on the floor for so long. I mean, Braun, whenever I'm with you, you like to be on top, so I don't mind being on the bottom for you, which means I'm on the floor. But hi Braun, how are you? But yeah, of course, Siren. I'm glad you were able to read some of the books and you're enjoying reading Pride and Prejudice and Midsummer Night's Dream. Oh, they're good books. If you ever need any more recommendations for websites to read books from and stuff like that, one of my best friends is an information librarian, so she has tons of places that I could recommend. It's just Gutenberg is the one that I go to primarily. I feel like Jules Verne will be the kind of guy to open a YouTube channel specifically about explaining biology and why we're secretly all fish. Everybody's fish. You're all fish, which means you're all related to me. You're my brothers and my cousins. Heck yeah. Except for Braun, he's a bard. My favorite classic novel is The Great Gatsby. That's a good one. I do not like the female main character, but I actually really like Gatsby. He's kind of cool. Braunfish. He's a braunfish. It's true. I appreciate it a ton. I would love a recommendation for books. Yes. After Pride and Prejudice and Midsummer Night's Dream, I recommend Sense and Sensibility. That's a really good one. And Another Shakespeare is, I think it's called Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing is one of my favorites. Or websites for books. Oh, websites. I'll have to ask her, and I'll get back to you. Great Gatsby is next on my classic read. Is it? Oh my gosh. Let me see. Actually, where are we on this? So we're on chapter 18. So we're getting closer to the end of the first part of the book. So we have a bit more time until we get to the second part. And once we get to second part, chapter 16 or 17, I actually will put up a poll in my Discord, and you guys can recommend books to me. So if you're not in my Discord, there is the link right there for the Discord. It is free to join. You don't have to be a subscriber or anything like that to join. The only thing that I do request, right, is read the rules, assign yourself the roles appropriately for yourself to make sure that we are using the appropriate pronouns and everything for you, for your own comfort, of course. But also, if you want to suggest any books, go to Mocha General and you'll see some threads attached to that for books and movie recommendations, because the second Thursday of every month I host a movie night. We have a poll right now, actually, if you guys are already in my Discord. We have a poll right now in the monthly movie suggestion thread for you guys to vote on a movie. The movies for vote right now are Knives Out, The Crow, Super 8, and Spider-Man Homecoming. So those are all pulled from your guys' recommendations. I'm feeling octopus for you somehow. For Braun, you think Braun would be an octopus? Inktober is looking quite fishy in the future. I guess that would make me a clownfish. Would you be a clownfish, dry dog? I could see that. If you guys were a fish in the ocean or some kind of sea creature, right? Because if you think about it, people say fish for anything that lives in the water, that swims and, you know, is a water type thing, right? So if you think of any type of sea creature as a fish, then therefore dragons, water dragons, could be fish. You would consider a water dragon a fish, which means my cousins are dragons. It's true. It's true. Just ask Annie. Just ask Annie. She's my sister. She knows. I finished a new poem. What's the poem? If you'd like to share it endless, you can put it in the arts channel. Poetry is art. Hi, Kiss Shot. You want to be kissed? Okay, come here. Come here. Freaking love. Oh my god, me too. Me too. If we reach at the end of the night, in the next 6 minutes, if we get 4 more subs or gifted subs, I will read a love poem for you guys before we end the night. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, and then on Friday, Saturday, we still have the 10 daily sub goal. And on Friday, Saturday, I will sing a song. But on Monday, Tuesday, I read poetry, love poems specifically. Same, it's so beautiful. I wanted to suggest a book I thought was old. Turns out the book was younger than me. You can request it, because sometimes I could still read it. It kind of depends, you know? Let's see. Quite the reach, if you catch my drift. Read to agree in server rules. 3 adult pets required. Yes. I hope the crow would win, but the other options are really great. I agree. I mean, if sharks are fish, then dragons are fish. Exactly. Hi, Kiss Shot. Oh, you're okay with the kisses. Okay. Part of me was just like, I hope that wasn't too much. I hope that was okay. Poetry. Hi, Abdullah. Welcome in. Hello, beautiful. How are you doing today? I hope you have the best day ever, and you look so beautiful and cute and gorgeous and sweet and glorious and angelic and heavenly and holy and blessed today. And I absolutely love your voice. So thank you so much. Hopefully you're having a good day. How are you? Ooh, wait, Sundays? Sundays you're no, every so if we reach the sub goal, if you look at the top right here under the time, that is the daily sub goal. If we get 4 gifted subs in the next 5 minutes, I will read a love poem. It's like if we reach the goal at the end of the night, which is a daily goal, then I do a small thank you by reading something for you on ASMR nights, which is Monday, Tuesday, or I sing a song, which is Friday, Saturdays. If we were C-forms, we pick something from prehistoric time. Yeah, why not? What great welcome, of course. Got it, I mean, your name is literally Kiss, right? Like, when your name is Kiss, you gotta kiss, right? Gonna take off for the night, but thank you for the raid. Thank you so much, Bear. You have a good rest, and thank you again so much for the raid earlier. Have a good rest. How are you? I'm good, Bacon Snack. How are you? I'm actually doing great today. Thanks for asking. Good. Happy it's Wednesday now, isn't it? Happy Wednesday. I think I'd like to be a hammerhead shark. If I were a fish in the ocean, I like that they can be individual weirdos, but once in a while they join up together and hunt as a group. That is actually really cute. I could so see that for you. My favorite classic novel, yeah, I think the tuna is the minotaur of the sea. Yeah? What makes you say that, Michael? You're gonna be a tuna minotaur? What if you were just like a minotaur that was also a fish? Bear, you want a forehead kiss? Okay. Thank you for the fish, Bear. Or for the fish? For the kiss. Thank you for the kiss, Bear. Your mates are so cute. I'm glad. What is my favorite one? Kiss is this one. Hold on. I really like this one. Where is it? Oh, I like this one. And there it is. And that one. And I really like that one. And this one. This is fine. Who doesn't like This Is Fine with Blue Fire? Oh, good news, Mukia. Okay, the FTC has gotten involved now and are sending letters to Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, PayPal to stop debanking people over NSFW content, stop censoring anime, so now over 6 months of FTC has finally gotten involved in this mess. Hope they can stop it. Good, they should, because it's ridiculous. Especially because, like, I actually had to send my Fansly money, my blue Twitch money to a friend, because I couldn't get it. Like, I could not send it to myself, so I had to send it to a friend for him to basically just give me what I was due, sans the processing charge. I was like, I'll cover it, of course, but yeah, so that's why that's why we're Patreon. That's why we do Patreon. Saudi Arabia, exact in Chisan City. Oh, okay. Doing quite well. Good, Bacon. You have a good Tuesday. A minotaur fish. Like a cowfish? I was honestly, if I was thinking about you, Michael, right, in that sense, I was kind of thinking of what are they called? Not a platypus. I can't think. It's like a whale, but they're white, and people used to mistake them for mermaids. Tough, thank you so much for becoming a member over on YouTube. Thank you so much, Tough. It's not much, but it's honest work. Honestly, it's a lot. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. We do have a goal on YouTube. Just like we have our daily sub goal over on Twitch, we have a goal on YouTube. If we can get 10 supas by the end of tonight, so in the next 2 minutes, which is not a lot of time, if we can do it in the next 2 minutes, I will do an early morning stream on Monday. So it'll be like 7 or 8 a.m. on Monday morning, and it'll be, I want to do this thing where if we can reach that every time I do a stream on Mondays or Tuesdays, I will do a morning stream on Monday, and it'll be coffee time with me. You know? And a darfish. Yeah. Did you know that sirens and dragons are my favorite type of imagination creatures ever? Really? That's I love sirens. I mean, obviously, I love my people, and I love my dragon friends. You seem on Fan Esley? Yes. Well, I did for a little while, but then I couldn't actually get my funds, so I stopped because I was like, if I can't even like potentially make this something that I could use, that I could do, then I'll just stick with Patreon for anything like that. But I do use I do the spicy on Patreon. I missed what fish you thought of. It's like a white whale, but they're relatively small. They're more dolphin sized, and people used to confuse them with mermaids, and I can't think of the name of them. I love them, and your voice gives me a lot of ASMR. Good. I only do ASMR on Monday, Tuesdays. But Kiss, you can actually find all of my content within the last year over on my YouTube channel, as well as past VODs here on Twitch. But if you want any standalone videos or scripts or shorts, you can go and check them out over on my YouTube on ASMR. I am partnered there, so every time you guys click and watch a short or a video, it greatly helps me. If I were a sea life form, I have 3 picks. Okay, Dunklebone, a bone armor plated fish, Leviathan whales, and Megalodon. Ooh, okay, let's go with the Leviathan whale. I think that one would be really cool. Cowfish are funky looking fish. They're like boxfish with little horns. They look like a horny puffer fish in Minecraft. Oh my, manatee. Manatee, that's the word. Manatee. Yes. You guys are correct. Though a narwhal is also an option. True, a narwhal would be an option as well. Hi Malice, welcome in. A narwhal, you're all right. A narwhal or a manatee, I think I would consider to be kind of like a minotaur of the ocean. Damn so much. Thank you. I'm glad you do. Early morning. Yeah, so it'd be like early morning when you guys are getting ready for work, when you guys are heading out to sleep, you know, depending on your time zone. That was my idea. If we can get the goal over on YouTube, which is just 10 supas. It's a good Tuesday. Didn't do much today. That's good. I'd be honored to be a manatee. I think you'd be super cute as a manatee. I have been called. Hi, Phil. Yes, we're saying that dragons and sirens are very closely related. So therefore, dragons are fish. Sucks. Honestly, yeah. Just do commissions and stuff like that. Yep, I do my scripts and everything over on Patreon. I hope the FTC can fix this mess. I hope so. Porpoise? Pictures of yourself? I was considering doing that. I do, but the way that I do them, Serena, is I get art done of myself every month by my friend Inky, and I do a script every month because it takes about a month for me to do it because I only have a couple days a week where I can edit and record, and sometimes I have to re-record certain parts, so it takes some time. And then for me to edit everything and create the soundscape and, you know, perfect it in the way before I post it for people to listen to, it takes about a month. So right now we only do once a month, as well as art. And in my Discord, when you guys purchase things off of my throne, such as nightgowns, chokers, jewelry, I take pictures and I post it in my Discord. in my Patreon Discord, not my Twitch Discord. So they are separate. Heavily considering it. Only if you want to. If you're comfortable with it, Serena. Only if you're comfortable with it, of course. Life is a whale of a time. You gotta live with the porpoise. I hate that so much, Shizu. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get ready to wrap up. Let me just catch up on everybody's chats. Join the Discord. I shall poem art channel inspired by Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, and the Brad Cradle filth. Ooh. When I heard your voice, something told me to follow your Twitch channel. I'm glad you did. Koi do become dragons. They do. Yes, Sloth, what's up? And I absolutely love your model so damn much. When I heard your voice, something told me. Cool. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to do all that. It does. It takes a lot of work. Leviathan whales and megalodons were both mega predators in the prehistoric seas, coexisted in the same time. Both were giants, and though no fossil evidence exists of them clashing, one could only imagine if predatory ancient whales and prehistoric giant sharks clashed. But it's unlikely since their time and size meant there was plenty of prey to go around. Also meaning they didn't have titanic clashes. That would be actually really scary. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you were hanging out with me on YouTube, I will have to catch you next Monday when we do some more triggers. We will be doing water, glass, tappies, and mouth sounds, of course. All the wet mouth sounds, like the ear nom-noms. So I'll see you guys from YouTube next Monday. Otherwise, if you want to tune in for my content for video games, I'll be live on Friday over on Twitch. Until then, have a good night, YouTube.